From Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, CBS Television presents the Los Angeles Rams versus the Buffalo Bills. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully along with George Allen. First of all, it's not cold. It's gray. It's sullen. There's some rain in the air, but it is not cold. And, George, it's a classic confrontation. What do you expect between the top defensive team and one of the top offensive teams?
Well, Vin, in some big games, important games, there's a tendency to become conservative and run the football more than normally. I look for more emphasis on the running game today.
Well, talking about running, we asked Elvis Peacock, you've been looking at the films all week of the NFL's #1 defensive team. How are you going to run against them?
Well, you know, just looking at the films, I don't doubt what you're saying because they are good. And, that, you know, their linebacker core is a good linebacker core led by Isaiah Robinson. They have tough hitters in the secondary, and their defensive lineman is doing a good job rushing the passer.
One of the brightest lights in Buffalo trying to lead them back to a championship is young Joe Cribbs. He has done everything. Cribbs has carried the ball 250 times. He's caught over 40 passes. He's handled kickoff returns. He has handled punt returns. And suddenly the name Joe Cribbs has a shot to be linked with the great name of Gale Sayers. He could have 2,000 yards total offense in his rookie year. So we asked Joe Cribbs, what's your favorite play to run against the Rams?
My favorite play, probably the lead out of the eye. It's it's a play that I like to do because I'm deep in the backfield and I have a chance to read the defensive line and I can make my cut on my own. So I like that play because it gives me an option to run inside or out.
Besides all the running, George, one other question: what will the Rams do with Ferragamo?
Well, the Rams, the big thing, Ferragamo is still going to throw deep. The Buffalo defense still has to stop that bomb. We can talk about running all day, but they have to stop his deep passes.
Vince Ferragamo can throw the bomb, as we have seen him do it. Case in point, here's a 44-yard touchdown pass from Vince Ferragamo deep into the end zone. Billy Waddy. So we asked Bill Simpson, you're going to have to defend Ferragamo. How do you do it?
As well as they do. You do it 5-6 times a game. You hit 2 of them, you got 14 points. So I think it's a big plus for their offense. But it's not something that we can take defensively and be afraid of it or anything like that. We still have to play our defenses the way they're designed and just react to that situation and be aware of it and know that they do go deep more often than other teams do. And I think we'll be all set.
Well, they're all set down on the field. The Los Angeles Rams will be kicking off to the Buffalo Bills. The rain has stopped, at least for the moment. And Frank Corral kicking short to about the 5-7-yard line. Curtis Brown to the 15-yard, to the 20, to the 30, down at the 32-yard line. Carl Eckern making the tackle. So the Buffalo Bills will put it in play. And what a story on the sidelines. Chuck Knox, 5 consecutive years, a division championship. It wasn't good enough. He's now with the Bills. Ray Malavasi, who was the defensive coordinator under Knox, comes in here as the head coach of the Rams. The Buffalo on its first offensive sequence from the 33. And it'll be Joe Cribbs, and he is on his feet almost to the 39-yard line. At the bottom of it was Jim Youngblood. Taking a look at the Buffalo backfield right now, Joe Ferguson with Joe Cribbs and Curtis Brown. His wide receivers are Jerry Butler and Frank Lewis. Lewis has a bad back, but he's going to go as far as he can. Up front, Jones, McKenzie, Grant, Dobler, Devlin. The tight end is Reuben Grant. So it is 2nd and 4. The Bills on their first drive starting on the 33. And it's Curtis Brown across the 40. Questionable as to whether he made the first down or not. They might even had to measure. Let's take a look at the Ram defense. Jack Youngblood, Cody Jones, Larry Brooks, and Fred Dreyer up front, with Jim Youngblood, Jack Reynolds, and George Andrews in the linebacker spots. The cornerbacks are Pat Thomas and Rod Perry, and Johnny Johnson and Nolan Cromwell at safety. So here is a very big confrontation. A 3rd and 1. The first really big play of the afternoon on the 43-yard line. and they'll go to Roosevelt Leaks, and Leaks has the first down. He's the short yardage back, and that's his bread and butter.
Well, here's a 3rd and 1 situation. They gave it to the big back, Roosevelt Leaks. They got him from the Baltimore Colts. He picks up the first down on the slant play. The reason Buffalo could pick up that first down is they picked up 6 yards on 1st and 10, and they're running the football, staying conservative so far in this ball game.
Joe Ferguson has 19 touchdown passes, but 18 interceptions. And on a 1st and 10 from the 48, the Bills get into Ram territory for the first time in the early going. And it is Joe Cribbs, the wonder back. Take another look at the Ram defense, George.
Well, here's another 1st and 10 play. The Rams are in an odd man line, which is a little bit stronger against the run. And the Bills are coming right at them. They picked up 5 yards on 1st and 10. That's the key to their running game. How many yards they get on 1st and 10?
2nd and 5 on the 47-yard line. Play action fake to Cribbs. Ferguson over the middle. All alone is Jerry Butler, and he's down to the Ram 25-yard line.
This is a great call. 2nd and 5. Fake the run. The run set up the pass. Wide open. Butler's wide open. A crossing pattern. Buffalo's offense is in control.
So it is 1st and 10 on the Ram 25-yard line. You have Frank Lewis wide right, and Jerry Butler goes left. It's still Curtis Brown and Joe Cribbs behind Joe Ferguson. And it's to Cribbs. And Cribbs is sandwiched inside the 25 at about the 22-yard line. Cody Jones at the bottom of the heap. George Andrews met him head on. This drive started on the Bills' 33. You know, the Bills have scored in every quarter in each of their last 2 games. They've scored in 14 of their last 16 quarters. So it's a pretty good offense up here in Buffalo.
Well, then they're running inside. They're attacking inside of the tackle box, straight ahead.
2nd and 7 on the 22. Joe Cribbs going inside McKenzie's block. McKenzie put a savage block on Jack Youngblood to even let Cribbs get to about the 20-yard line. You're going to see a lot of McKenzie, the 9-year veteran, number 67 from Michigan. And Reggie just made his presence felt that time in the person of Jack Youngblood. He shook up the big defensive end.
Well, Joe Cribbs is a cutback runner. He likes to cut back. That's what he did on that play. He's only 5'10" and 198, but he's built like a 220-pounder.
It's 3rd and 5 on the 20-yard line. And out of the shotgun, Joe Ferguson. Fergie looking over the middle, and no good. Coming across was Lou Picone, number 89.
It looked like he fell down. Then he tripped and fell.
And Picone acting like a man who might have been bumped. Let's see if we can pick him out. He's not very big. He's listed at 5'9". Little guy coming over the middle.
He did. He just tripped and fell.
He just stumbled. Nolan Cromwell nearby. So on a 4th and 5, the Bills will go to the field goal. Nick Mickelmeyer has only made 2 of his last 8. He is 11 for 19. David Hum will hold. His longest field goal, 49. And this will be a 38-yard attempt. The spot and the kick. The kick is no good. Wide left. And so Mickelmeyer has now made only 2 of his last 9 field goals. And the Rams will take over, stopping on the 20-yard line.
Good
so the
snap.
Bills went from their own 33 and ran out of gas.
Last week they had a bad snap, had a field goal block. They had a good snap and a good hold. He just missed it.
The Rams with Vince Ferragamo at quarterback, Elvis Peacock and Cullen Bryant the running backs, Billy Waddy and Preston Denard the wide receivers. Up front, France Hill, Saul Harris, Slater, and the tight end. Playing on a wobbly knee is Victor Hicks. They have activated Terry Nelson because of Hicks's injury. So Ferragamo, 1st and 10 on the Ram 21. He'll try Cullen Bryant. And Bryant falls forward to maybe the 24-yard line. Would be about a pickup of 3. 2nd and 7. That's Frank Corral on the sidelines. The veteran fellow who has been kicking and punting all year. His punting has started to come off a little bit, George.
Well, doing both is quite a chore. Your leg gets tired as the season goes along, and that could be a reason.
Corral has kicked 6 of his last 14 field goals. He could very well be a factor in this one. 2nd and 6 from the 25. Out of the eye. Peacock is the deep back. Elvis going left side, and he's out to the 29-yard line. Smurlus came up to hit him along with Romes. Talking about defensive players for Buffalo, let's take a look at them. Ben Williams, who leads with 12.5 sacks, along with Fred Smurlus and Sherman White in Chuck Knox's 3-4. The 4 is Sanford, Hazlitt, Nelson, and old friend Isaiah Robertson. Mario Clark and Charlie Romes at the corners. Steve Freeman and Bill Simpson, the former Ram, at free safety. Earlier, to repeat, Bill Simpson said Ferragamo tracks his receivers. So we'll see whether Simpson can follow that track. From the 29, 3rd and a long 2. And it's Peacock. And the Bills stack him up. They have to get just beyond the 30-yard line, almost to the 31, so it might be cause for measurement. We'll see. On the sideline, an early injury. Check the number and pick off the man.
First down.
And it would be Jim Youngblood. Youngblood with a bad right elbow, and that's Dr. Bob Cullen, along with Dr. Clarence Shield, the orthopedic surgeons examining him. So the Rams just do pick up their first down. 1st and 10 on the 31. That's Denard splitting wide left. Waddy wide right, but they stay on the ground. Cullen Bryant, the big bullback, is stopped at about the 33-yard line. Well, George, one thing has held up. You expected a lot of running, and that's what we're seeing.
Both teams are attacking the defense inside. The Rams have had trouble, Ben, running against the 34 defense. Atlanta beat them with a 34 defense. Miami gave them problems with a 34 defense. They like to run inside against the 34.
It is a great confrontation. The Rams lead the NFC in total offense. The Bills lead the NFL in total defense. 2nd and 7 from the 34. In motion is Denard. Ferragamo has it deflected. And it was Sherman White, number 83, who had his hands up and deflected the pass. And there is a flag on the play, evidently. And it will be against the Rams. The preliminary report on linebacker Jim Youngblood, he is going to have x-rays taken of that right arm or elbow area. Whether he returns or not is questionable.
And that could be costly with Brzezinski not available. And Andrews is taking his place. Now Joe Harris will come in and play.
Number 88.
Preston Denard, who went in motion, was guilty of pass interference. Bill Simpson hollering over to Chuck Knox, and Knox saying, refuse the penalty, take the down. Now you have another great one. Buffalo's defense outstanding. And the Rams, the top total offense club, in a pivotal 3rd and 7 from the 34. Ferragamo to the air. No good. Almost picked off. Sanford and Robertson were there.
Right, Ben, exactly. Ferragamo threw behind the receiver. They rushed with just 3 men and did a terrific job of covering. The strength of their defense is their coverage rather than their rush. See that ball thrown behind?
And Isaiah almost picked it off. Would he have loved that? So 4th and 7 from the 34. Frank Corral ready for the 60th punt of the year for him. His longest 64. He hits it high and not deep. However, the ball hits, takes a Ram bounce, and finally goes out of bounds at the 24-yard line. And that's where Buffalo will put it in play. So we have 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first quarter. The Rams missing, Buffalo missing a field goal, no score. So Buffalo puts it in play, 1st and 10 from its own 24. The last time it had the ball, it started on its own 33. The running backs are Joe Cribbs and Curtis Brown. Frank Lewis wide right, Jerry Butler left, Mark Bramer the tight end. Play action fake to Cribbs. Ferguson over the middle, no good. Intended for Frank Lewis, and Johnny Johnson right there to knock it out of his hands.
Johnson on the coverage.
Well, he had it. Good first down call, play action. They've been running successfully. Johnny Johnson knocks it out of his hands as he tries to put it away.
Back to live. Ferguson misthrowing and a flag on the play. The pass was intended to Curtis Brown. You know, we should point out the fact the Bills have allowed the fewest quarterback sacks in the NFL, only 11. And only 2 of those sacks came in Buffalo's last 7 games. The Rams have 14 sacks in their last 2 games. But of course, one consideration is because of the shotgun, Ferguson gets added protection.
And he likes it. Now, Ben, what happened that last down is the Bills went on a quick count. If the Rams were trying to substitute into their nickel or their defensive personnel, they didn't have time to get them in there. And they went on a quick count.
69 offense, personal foul. 72 offense, holding, refused, 3rd down.
One of those 2 numbers will ring a bell with you. The personal foul against number 69. That number is worn with a great deal of distinction by Conrad Dobler. Though it is 3rd and 10, and Buffalo is the most successful 3rd down conversion team in the NFL. 3rd and 10 on the 24. Butler wide left. They go slot right. Pacone is in there. Inside Frank Lewis. And out of the shotgun, you have Roland Hooks along with Joe Cribbs. The backs stay in to block. Ferguson, no good. Intended for Jerry Butler. Rod Perry was there defending. We mentioned Conrad Dobler. Let's see what he's up to. Going head-to-head right now. Number 69. He has to fight Cody Jones. He can't contain him. So Jones is picked up nicely and kept away from Ferguson.
He got some help.
The man who provided the help was at the last minute pulling. So now Greg Cater, who has the distinction of being last in the NFL, and he'll be kicking to number 47, Leroy Irvin. That'll be fielded at the 31-yard line to the 42-yard line, and that's where the Rams will put it in play, 1st and 10. So actually, on an exchange of punts, the Rams picked up a good 20 yards in the exchange. With 6 minutes and 46 seconds left in the first quarter, no score. The Rams 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. That's Denard in motion to the right. He's picked up by Rome, but they stay on the ground with Cullen Bryant, and he's out across the 45. Flags on the play, however.
Well, Cullen Bryant did a good job of reading his blocking, slanted to the weak side, cut back, and found a big hole.
The penalty, however, will be against the Rams. Their preliminary signal so indicated. The first time the Rams had the ball, they started on their 21. Ray Malavasi in 1973 was the defensive coordinator under Chuck Knox, and now, of course, trying to beat Knox in an extremely important game. Let's get the call from referee Fred Silva.
Offense number 78, holding.
Jackie Slater trying to buy a little time, guilty of holding. So it'll be 1st and 20 on the 32. You can see that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have scored to take a 3-0 lead. Garo Yepremian kicking a 27-yard field goal. 1st and 20 on the Ram 32. He's got Elvis Peacock But Shane Nelson, number 59, was right there to deck Peacock immediately as he crossed the 35-yard line. I'll tell you somebody who has his hand full, not a hands, but a handful, and that's Doug France. France is playing with one hand completely encased in a cast, and he is trying to keep out Sherman White. And what a one-handed battle that is.
That is a battle. Ferragamo did the right thing. He was looking deep. The Bill defense is trying to take away the bomb. He went underneath the Peacock.
They'll spot the ball at the 37-yard line. So it is 2nd and 15. Cullen Bryant hit and staggered but would not go down until they finally bring him down almost to the 40-yard line. Boy, he is really something. You know, Cullen Bryant has fumbled only once in 140 carries and 44 pass receptions. 184 times he's handled the ball, only one fumble.
That's the type of a back a coach likes. He's a good receiver, good blocker, and he doesn't make mistakes.
He is really something. So it is 3rd and 12 on the 40-yard line. The Rams have Miller and Hill in a slot left, and Waddy goes right. All the backs released. Sherman White. Well, we just told you about that battle between Doug France and Sherman White, and White was the winner.
The Bills came in with a 4th down lineman, Mike Cadiz, and they ran a stunt. Sherman White beat Doug France, sacked Ferragamo. They came with 4 down linemen.
So it is 4th and 22 on the Ram 30-yard line. Frank Corral, second punt. He'll be punting from about his 18-yard line. Deep is Roland Hooks, who's a big play man for Buffalo. And Corral gets off a good punt. And Hooks will take it at the 28. Ivory Sully can't get him, but Lucius Smith does, and dropped him at the 32-yard line. And I'll tell you, the hat's off to Lucius Smith, who went down to make that tackle. He came off with a severely pinched nerve in his neck last week, and yet he's back playing and battling as Sherman White gets congratulations on the sideline. 4.5 in the first quarter, no score. 1st and 10 Buffalo on the Buffalo 32. Staying on the ground, it's big Curtis Brown out to the 40-yard line. So Curtis Brown, the 4-year back from Missouri, who was the #1 rusher for the Bills last year until Joe Cribbs came along. Brown picks up a big 8, and we'll have a 2nd and 2 at the 40-yard line.
Well,
another score. Cincinnati's Pete Johnson just ran 5 yards to lead Baltimore 7-0. 7 minutes left in the first quarter. 2nd and 2 on the Buffalo 40. Cribbs almost lost it, but held on to it, and I believe made the first down. Talking before as we did, Cribbs is not a fumbler either.
no, he isn't. He carried the ball 288 straight times without a fumble while he was in college. But what the Bills are doing now, they're running from a pro set. Usually you pass from that set where the backs are split, and they're going straight ahead.
It's a first down, barely. The Bills will take it on the Ram 42-yard line. The Bills started on the 33, they started on their 24, and they start this drive on their 32. The third sequence of plays against the Rams. Closest to a score, a missed field goal by Nick McAmeyer. 1st and 10 on the Buffalo 42. Play action fake to Cribbs. A lot of pressure by Cody Jones. A screen to Brown. And he's across the 45-yard line to about the 47. So they set it up. Brown going a couple of yards.
Well, the Ram defense forced Ferguson a little bit deep. It took too long to develop. That's why it wasn't too successful.
By the way, you know, Joe Ferguson makes his living with the short pass. He has averaged 6 yards a pass. In fact, in the NFL, he is 23rd in the league. As you see Jackie Slater taking a moment's respite on the Rams sideline. 2nd and 5 from the Buffalo 47. Curtis, and Brown is out to just about midfield.
Well, you know, Vin, when you attack straight ahead, usually it's man-for-man blocking. That's what your offensive line likes, coming off on the ball. It's very simple and basic football.
They're in a hurry on a 3rd and 2 at midfield with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the first quarter. Ferguson out of the shotgun. A great reception by Joe Cribbs inside the Ram 45. What a catch for Cribbs.
Well, they used the shotgun on 3rd and 2 and a hurry-up offense, which puts the Rams on defense. You don't have time sometimes to substitute and get all that defensive personnel in there.
Cribbs has now caught 48 passes, and he picks up the first down on the Ram 44. Take another look at the control. Joe Cribbs just managed to hold on to the football.
Yeah, he put it away just before he went out of bounds.
1st and 10 on the Ram 44. To Curtis Brown, but the Rams read it and bulldog him down. Pat Thomas came up sharply, and over on the side, Joe Harris also in on the tackle.
Well, the Rams defense had to revolve to the strong side so that Pat Thomas was right up on the outside to make the play.
2nd and 10 on the Ram 44. Ferguson down the right sidelines, and he's got Frank Lewis, and Lewis is pulled down at the 30-yard line by Pat Thomas, but he actually crossed the 30, and they're going to mark it at the Ram 29, I believe.
Here's the replay.
Well, Ferguson's going on a quick count. A hook pattern, easy to throw, easy to catch, and it's tough to defense. Drive the defender back, stop in front of him, and come back.
One question has been answered. Frank Lewis, who did not play because of a bad back against Baltimore, but he is very much doing well today. 1st and 10, and they spot the ball on the Ram 28. Joe Cribbs. Cribbs punching the ball to the 25, so a pickup of 3, and that'll make it 2nd and 7. You know, Buffalo does not do particularly well on its average ground play. They average only 3 yards a carry. In fact, this very good Buffalo team ranks 26th among the 28 NFL teams in that department.
Yeah, Ben. Well, you know, the other thing is Buffalo is very basic on offense, very basic on defense. They don't beat themselves.
And very basically, they have taken it 2nd and 7 on the Ram 25. 58 seconds left in the first quarter, no score. Play action fake to Cribbs. Ferguson to Frank Lewis at the 5-yard line. Jack Reynolds tried to intercept that pass, I believe, and there is a flag on the play.
There's a flag down in the Buffalo backfield.
Let's see whether Buffalo guilty of keeping the Rams out by holding, and evidently so. We'll get the call in a moment from Fred Silva.
Offense, number 72, holding.
And that is Ken Jones, guilty of holding for Buffalo on a pass that went from the 25 to the Ram 5, has been nullified. Dennis Harrah figures to have a very busy day up front when the Rams have the ball. So he stands on the sideline alone with his thoughts for the moment. 2nd and 17 on the Ram 35. And out of the shotgun. Ferguson looking left. Cody Jones has him as he fumbles. And the Bills recovered. Will Grant, the center. Grant is playing with a bad hand, but he is still able to fall on the ball. And take a look at the Rams applying some heat.
Let's watch the defensive rush by the Rams. They're in a shotgun. The Rams are in their nickel defense. Coming in, penetrating. He tries to scramble. Loses the ball. Cody Jones forced the fumble. number 76.
Will Grant, who was playing with one hand in the cast a la Doug Franz, was able to use the other hand to recover the fumble. And the first quarter is history. And so at the end of the first quarter at Rich Stadium in Buffalo, the score, the Buffalo Bills nothing, the Los Angeles Rams nothing.
The NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
So on a 3rd and 33 from Buffalo's 48, remember they had completed a pass to the Ram 5, but were guilty of holding. That's been a terrific burden for the Buffalo Bills. The start of the second quarter, no score, and Ferguson out of the shotgun. They went slot left, and it's to Jerry Butler coming across. Rod Perry brings him down at the 43-yard line, but there would appear to be a flag on the play on the far side of the field.
Well, here he is, 5 yards deep in the shotgun, good snap, and he throws an underneath pattern to Butler. That type of pass is designed to allow the receiver to run with the ball and pick up the first down.
And by the way, the preliminary signal would indicate that the Rams were offside defensively. Santa Claus reminding everybody it is just around the corner. The time of possession in the first quarter is interesting. The Bills had the ball 9 minutes and 50 seconds. The Rams had it only 5 minutes and 10 seconds. The Bills missed a field goal by Nick Mickemeyer, a 38-yard attempt.
Defense, number 85. Offside. Third down.
So Jack Youngblood guilty of the infraction. Meanwhile, in a very big game, Tim Mazzetti has just kicked a 28-yard field goal, and the Falcons leading the Eagles 3-0. We'll watch that game very carefully since it has such a direct bearing on this one today. 3rd and 28 from the Ram 46. They had Joe Cribbs in the slot left. No good, intended for Jerry Butler, and it was Leroy Irvin who had his hand on the pigskin to knock it down.
Well, Ferguson threw that ball into a crowd. It could have easily been picked off. Shotgun again, setting up to pass. Now watch Leroy Irvin, number 47, go up and knock it down with one hand. He wasn't open at all. There was men in front of him and behind him. He was well covered.
Greg Cater, who's averaged 38 yards a punt. He's a rookie out of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Will be punting to Johnny Johnson and Leroy Irvin, the twin safeties on the Ram 10-yard line. And he's going to hang it on the left side. And it will go into the end zone. So Cater is unable to kick it out of bounds, and that gets the crowd a little disgruntled. So with 14 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the second quarter, the Rams put it in play. 1st and 10 from their 20. No score. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is prohibited. 1st and 10 on the Ram 20. Waddy goes wide right. Denard goes wide left. Peacock is the deep back out of the eye. And it'll be Peacock straight ahead. Peacock across the 25 to about the 28-yard line. That's Will Grant, who fell on that fumble and recovered it for Buffalo. Grant figures to be a very pivotal figure in snaps today. And remember, he has one hand in a cut-down cast. He's a 3-year veteran out of Kentucky, and he is asked to snap that ball accurately, almost one-handed. 2nd and 2 from the 28. And they pitch to Bryant, and he has the first down as he got out across the 30-yard line. He had to go inside a stand-up block by Elvis Peacock.
Well, they went outside that time, but the reason you like to run straight ahead against a 34 defense is they run a lot of stunts, and by blocking man for man and going straight ahead, it eliminates any mistakes by the offensive lineman.
It is interesting to note, John, about mistakes of the offensive line. What a job Conrad Dobler has done again. with his third team.
Yes, he has.
1st and 10 on the Ram 33. On a draw to Elvis Peacock, they close the door at about the 35-yard line. So Elvis Peacock carrying.
You know, Vin, you mentioned Conrad Dobler. One of the things he does for your offensive line, he makes the line physical. He has leadership qualities, and he's a tough individual, and you want that in your offensive line. Most of the time, offensive lines are kind of passive, and defensive lines are arrogant and physical and very aggressive.
Good point. 2nd and 7 from the 36, and the Rams go slot left. Drew Hill is in there. And Ferragamo with the bomb. Intercepted and dropped at the last minute. And it was Charles Romes who had it in his hands and couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah. Good coverage. The Bills dog on this. They dog, so they're one-on-one. Now watch Rones jump up, has the ball in both hands, and loses it himself as he's coming down. Good coverage. They were ready for the bomb.
You know, and talking about the bomb, Ferragamo has had 10 pass plays covering 40 yards or more. He and Jim Hart have the lead in the NFL with the bomb. But what is amazing about the 40-yarders, he has thrown them to 6 different players. So it's 3rd and 7 from the 36. Cullen Bryant at the 40, across the 45, and down at the 47-yard line, and it'll be a first down for the Rams.
Well, the Bills' defense are concerned about the bombs. No question. They're playing loose. They're stopping the outside, the wide out peoples. Now here's Cullen Bryant coming underneath on an angle pattern, and he picks up the first down by running with the ball.
So they have moved it to the Ram 47-yard line. This drive so far, they've chewed out 27 very difficult yards. Play action fake to Peacock. There goes the bomb again. You know, last week, Ferragamo had a 44-yard touchdown pass to Billy Waddy, and of course he was his receiver this time.
Well, here it is. 1st and 10. Ferragamo's calling his own plays. He's been doing a good job. He has all day to throw. Pretty good protection. The ball was thrown to the outside. He was expecting it inside.
You know, Ferragamo has thrown at least 1 touchdown pass in 11 consecutive games. The club record is 15, set by Roman Gabriel. Dan Fouts just passed to Greg McCary after Joe Theismann had passed for a touchdown. 2nd and 10. Elvis Peacock dragged down at just about the line of scrimmage.
You know, then you just read the Redskins score. You got the #1 pass defense going against the #1 pass offense. Very interesting matchup there.
The passes have accounted for all the touchdowns in that San Diego-Washington game. An interception for Washington, a Theismann touchdown pass, and now a Dan Fouts pass. 14-7 Washington, 3 minutes left in the first quarter. 3rd and 9 for the Rams on their 48-yard line. Ferragamo looking under some heat. Fumble the ball. Recovered. Loose ball. The Bills. And I believe it was Isaiah Robertson who recovered the loose ball.
Ben Williams, the left of your screen, 77, forces this. Now watch Ben Williams come in right here. He's coming in from the outside, forces that fumble. Now they're rushing Ferragamo with just 4 men and running stunts.
And
covering with 7.
People, Isaiah.
He'd love that.
1st and 10 on the Ram 42. Joe Cribbs straight ahead across the 40. Cribbs had said before the game he likes to run as the deep man out of the eye. Back on the scoreboard again in that Eagles-Falcons game. Ron Jaworski has passed 22 yards to Harold Carmichael for a touchdown. Philadelphia leading Atlanta 7-3 at the start of the second quarter.
Well, then going back to Isaiah, he's at his best against the pass. He has good hands, good drop, fine speed.
2nd and 6 on the Ram 38-yard line. Frank Lewis wide right. Jerry Butler goes wide left. And they're going to go to the air. Ferguson has Frank Lewis at the 22-yard line. Knocked down by Johnny Johnson.
Well, Ferguson's mixing his calls very well. He fakes the play action. It's a running situation. 2nd and 6. All day to throw. Look at the time he has to throw. Reading the defense. The same type of pattern that was successful before. Coming over the middle.
Well, 1st and 10 on the Ram 21-yard line. On the sideline, little Lou Picone, and he might figure prominently. 1st and 10 from the 21. In motion is Curtis Brown. Ferguson play action to Joe Krebs, and the pass is knocked down.
Well,
Cody Jones and Larry Brooks, the two big men, were breaking through.
And that's the way you break up these play action passes. They got penetration. It developed a little bit slow. Now watch this. Hands up, knockdown. Cody Jones right in there.
There's Buffalo's answer to John Belushi and company. 2nd and 10 on the Ram 21-yard line. In the first quarter, Buffalo got to the Ram 28-yard line. So this is the deepest penetration thanks to the fumble recovery by Isaiah Robertson. Butler goes left. Picone, Hooks, and Lewis are all on the right side. No good. A tremendous effort by Jerry Butler, but he ran out of real estate.
And I tell you, Rod Perry was right with him. Here it is. The Rams are dogging. Coming in with an all-out blitz. You go one-on-one. Now watch the good position Rod Perry has. And a great effort by Jerry Butler. Out of bounds.
Again, we repeat the message. We told you, as George pointed out, the Rams coming in on that blitz. And by blitzing frequently on passing downs, the Rams accumulated 14 sacks in their last 2 games. So they have really been applying the heat of late. Meanwhile, the Browns had Don Cockcroft a 34-yard field goal. They lead the Jets 3-0 in the second. 3rd and 10 from the 21-yard line of the Rams. Same formation. 3 receivers on the right side out of the shotgun. Low and incomplete, intended for Lou Picone. And again, tremendous pressure put on Ferguson.
Well, they're coming in. They're coming in with more rushers than they have blockers. Here it is. Now, Ferguson doesn't have much time to throw this football. He's rushed from the right of the screen, right here, and he just jumps and dumps it off. Ivy Sully was right in his face.
You know, Buffalo has some problems. It's all not sweetness and light up here. Last week, they tell us in the Baltimore game, Joe Devlin, offensive tackle on the right side, made an obscene gesture to quarterback Joe Ferguson. Probably Ferguson complaining about lack of protection, and he's complaining about that now. Another 38-yard field goal attempt is no good. So Nick Mickemeyer is 0 for 2 today. He has only kicked 2 of his last 10 attempts, and the Bills, for the second time, come up empty, and it is no score.
Well, then, good snap, good hole, and he hooked it again.
Let's face it, Mickemeyer is only an average kicker at best.
You can't miss those easy field goals.
As if he was furious at his offensive line.
Well, he had the man open, then he didn't have the time.
But the Rams have the time and the ball. 1st and 10 on their own 21, 9 minutes to the half. No score. Out of the eye, they'll try Peacock. He gets outside Sanford. Hazlitt grabs him up around the neck. And finally, Shane Nelson brings him down at the 30-yard line. They have to get to the 31.
Well, Sanford didn't play that properly. Sanford traded one-on-one, and he didn't contain the man.
There are 2 men down. Elvis Peacock, who had thrown a block, is shaken up, but he's okay. And the Buffalo Bill player directly behind Peacock is the man who is hurt.
The way Sanford played that, it puts a lot of pressure on your deep backs.
So with 8 minutes and 55 seconds to the half, no score.
I'll tell you.
That's Mario Clark. He took a bit of a pounding on that sweep by Peacock, but he is okay. Peacock himself was shaken up and had to leave for the moment. So you have Gooman, number 44, in there with Bryant. Ferragamo on a 2nd and 1. Passing complete. It's the tight end, Victor Hicks, who caught it at the 35-yard line and picked up the first down, sore knee and all.
Then again, I'll repeat myself. It's very obvious the Bills are concerned about the bombs, and they should be. They're keeping everything in front of them, forcing Ferragamo to throw underneath, coming up and making a play. It's easier to come up than it is to go back.
So Hicks, taking 2 licks, goes down at the 34-yard line, where it is 1st and 10. The Redskins picking up a field goal, 28 yards by Mark Mosley, leading the Chargers 17-7. Boy, that would be a shocker. 1st and 10, play action fake, and there's the bomb. The 3rd bomb by Ferragamo, no good. Flag on the play.
Yeah.
Billy Waddy with Ferragamo taking a severe shot to the rib cage, and a flag on Billy Waddy. But all eyes are on Ferragamo now.
I think it's offensive pass interference.
Let's take a look at that play, George. We know the flag is thrown on Waddy.
Right.
Let's see who finally gets in on Ferragamo.
Well, he takes the ball. His body is exposed. He's throwing the ball, and he gets hit wide open right here.
And it is Ben Williams, who has 12 and a half sacks, who put him away.
He's their leading sacker with 12 and a half, right. It's offensive interference.
And the interference is charged against Waddy. He bumped into Mario Clark. So a bad play for the Rams. First, the collision by Waddy, and now Ferragamo taking a severe belt from Ben Williams. Williams in the offseason is a banker. He handles installment loans, and Ferragamo owes him one now.
Well, you know, this is where you get your ribs cracked, banged up. Vince did what a good quarterback should do. He sees the rush, he feels it, but he goes through with it. Now he's exposed. There's no way he can protect himself. Right in the ribs with the shoulder and the helmet, the shoulder pads.
And Williams is 6'3", 245 pounds. And as Ferragamo stays on the ground, and you see Waddy running into Mario Clark, another bit of bad news for the Rams from the sideline. When Elvis Peacock went out, he suffered an injury to his right knee, and we will have to wait and see as to the disposition of Elvis Peacock. We do know that Ferragamo has had to go to the pitch, and the Rams now will be looking to Pat Hayden.
Well, we hope it's just his wind. Hope it isn't a serious injury.
So the injury to Ferragamo plus a 10-yard penalty. That makes it 1st and 20 on the 25-yard line. Waddy goes right. Denard goes left. And it's Mike Gooman. Gooman driving to about the 28-yard line. Remember, he's in there for Elvis Peacock. Gooman has carried the ball 70 times. Hayden has to be rusty.
The Rams have lost some key players. They lost Jim Youngblood. They replaced him with Joe Harris. Now they lost Ferragamo. And it looks like a rib injury.
And maybe Peacock.
And possibly Peacock. And then your defense, Pat Hayden, entirely different from the way you would defense Ferragamo.
You don't look for the bomb as much.
Exactly. You play for the possession type of pass more.
2nd and 15 on the 29-yard line. No score in this slugfest at Buffalo. Hayden looking to Gooman. They set up a screen on the right side for Gooman. And Ben Williams hit him from behind. What a hit. It is Williams who sent Ferragamo to the pitch, and it was Williams who really unloaded on Gooman. Take a look at 77.
Well, Williams also shows some quickness that you like in your defensive ends. Now watch him come over here. Right here. Put the wood to him, gang tackling. You can see why he's their leading sacker.
So it's a painful 2-yard pickup. They spot the ball at the 31, and it is 3rd and 13 on the 31. Jackie Slater is trying to keep Ben Williams out of there. Barely did, and the pass is complete. A great catch by Billy Waddy at midfield.
And also a great throw by Pat Hayden. He was well covered. This is what we call a short corner. And Pat Hayden rifles it right in there.
Look at Williams
right
jerking down, too, and he still got it off accurately.
19-yard gain.
So they pick up 19 yards on that pass, and it is 1st and 10 at midfield for the Rams. Rams had the ball for 5 minutes in the first quarter. Buffalo has missed 2 38-yard field goal attempts, and we have no score. 5:37 to the half. 1st and 10 at midfield. They try Cullen Bryant, and he picks up a couple at best, maybe 2 yards to the Buffalo 48. Well, it is 2nd and 8 on the 48-yard line. The ball in Buffalo territory. Gilman and Bryant behind Hayden. Moving is Smerlis. Fred Smerlis was moving, and there goes Vince Ferragamo back into the dressing room to have his ribs examined. He'll join Jim Youngblood evidently for x-rays. So the Rams receive at least 2 big blows, and we're still not sure about the disposition of Elvis Peacock.
Well, I think then they have a portable x-ray machine in there, and they'll x-ray his ribs to see whether it's just cartilage or a broken rib.
Encroachment.
So Fred Smerlis, number 76, guilty of encroachment as Ferragamo goes off. It has been announced to the crowd that Ferragamo is suffering rib injuries as he goes back to the dressing room. So Hayden, piloting the club, has him now to inside the 45-yard line. On a 2nd down play, Hayden is looking over the middle. No good to Cullen Bryant at the 40-yard line.
Well, they dogged Pat Hayden. They dogged him, and he threw the ball going backwards, threw it off balance, and threw it into the ground.
We do not have any further report except that preliminary report that we gave you. Elvis Peacock had an injury to his right knee, and we have not seen nor heard anything else about him. So 3 Rams are banged up. Jim Youngblood, Vince Ferragamo with rib injuries, and Elvis Peacock. 3rd and 3 on the Buffalo 43-yard line. Mike Gilman and Cullen Bryant behind Pat Hayden. Billy Waddy is right. Preston Denard left. And Hayden into a crowd, no good. Cullen Bryant, I believe, was the intended receiver. It was standing room only at about the 40-yard line.
Well, they tried to go underneath again, and with 4 linebackers, it's difficult to run that pattern underneath and get the first down.
So the Buffalo defensive squad receives the plaudits of the crowd as they trot off. They have stiffened, and Frank Corral will be punting for the Rams. Roland Hook standing on the Buffalo 10-yard line. Corral to repeat, averaging almost 40 yards a punt, and he's kicked 11 inside the 20. His longest punt 64, and he has had 1 punt block this year. He'll be punting from the Ram 45-yard line. A little bit of a high snap as he tries to kick, and Roland Hooks will let the ball bounce at the 10, and it's going to go out of bounds at the Bills' 5-yard line. So a great punt by Frank Corral.
Excellent punt. That's what you want. You don't want to kick it into the end zone. You want to kick it out of bounds. Give your defense field position.
So with Ferragamo in the pits and Hayden at the wheel, Bob Lee is on the telephone. Pat Hayden, who really didn't have time to warm up when he was rushed into the breach, trying to heat up that right arm on the sidelines. Meanwhile, Joe Ferguson, with 4:39 to the half, has it 1st and 10 on the Buffalo 5 on a great kick by Frank Corral. Joe Cribbs. I'll say one thing about this game. This is the 14th game of the year. And this crowd at Rich Stadium in Buffalo by far is the loudest crowd we have heard in years.
We can't hear ourselves talk.
Incredible.
And, you know, we're showing a few shots of Pat Hayden here. Hayden's the type of quarterback that's always ready. He's very studious, intelligent. He can come in and do the job.
2nd and 10 on the 5, and Joe Cribbs across the 5 falls forward to about the 7. That's about all he got.
It's nice to have a backup quarterback like Hayden come in, and Bill Lee can also do the job, or Bob Lee can also do the job.
On the sidelines, Billy Waddy, one of the primary receivers who has kept somewhat quiet up to here. Waddy, of course, caught a 44-yard touchdown pass against the Jets, and he has caught 2 better than 40 this year. You'll notice, because of a light mist and rain, that when they spot the ball, they not only dry it off, a lot of times they will cover it with a towel and then remove the towel, as they have done just now. The umpire, Ralph Moorcroft, doing that. On a 3rd and 8, it is Curtis Brown trying to fight off people as he gets across the 10 out to about the 12-yard line. Boy, that's a tough buy.
Very conservative down there. The Rams should have excellent field position now. Let's watch the snap and the punt. We haven't had much good punting by the Bills. The longest, highest hang time he's had is 4.1. That's not very good. This is a key punt.
Greg Cater kicking out of the end zone, averaging at the bottom in the NFL. And standing at midfield is Leroy Irvin for the Rams. 2 minutes, 47 seconds to the half. No score. High snap. And there's the kick. Leroy Irvin at the 47-yard line of Buffalo. Down he goes.
Great coverage. 3.8 hang time. End over end kick. But great coverage made the difference.
The 1980 season winding down to the pressure games on the NFL today. Not very much pressure next Saturday, but it still should be a good ball game. The New York Giants and the Washington Redskins. What a traditional rivalry that is, at 12 noon Eastern time. And then next Sunday, the New Orleans Jets, Cardinals, Eagles, 49ers, Falcons, and Buccaneers versus Lions. 1st and 10 on the 47 of Buffalo. Hayden on a roll. Williams brings him down as his pass is incomplete. Boy, Ben Williams is everywhere. Number 77.
He's got good quickness and speed both. He outran Hayden there. Now watch. He forces Hayden to throw that ball before he wants to. Gets the delivery sack. The ball's thrown a little bit behind Cullen Bryant. Tough catch.
So it is 2nd and 10 on the Bills' 47. And we repeat, Jim Youngblood was injured to his right elbow. He's out for x-rays. Vince Ferragamo, ribs injuries. He's gone to the clubhouse. Elvis Peacock to the sidelines with an injury to his right knee. 2:31 to the half. 2nd and 10 on the Buffalo 47. Mike Gooman and Cullen Bryant behind Pat Hayden. And they'll go to Bryant. And Bryant is hit by Sanford at the 45-yard line. Falls forward to the 44.
That's a good call by Pat Hayden. He's keeping them honest. 2nd and 10. They're expecting pass. They're in their nickel defense. Run the football.
It'll be 3rd and 7 as they spot the ball at the 44-yard line of Buffalo.
2-minute clock winding down.
And so with 2 minutes left in the half, in what figured to be a monstrous struggle has been just that. No score. The preceding announcement furnishes a public service by the National Football League. No score in the ball game. Ferragamo, prior to his rib injury, was 3 for 7 for 20 yards. Hayden is 2 for 5 for 21. Here's the injury as Ferragamo trying to pass long to Billy Waddy, and he is fully extended and wide open, and big Ben Williams sticks him in the right side of the rib cage. Ferragamo had to go to the dressing room for x-rays, and we have no further report.
With his helmet and his shoulder pads both.
So on a 3rd and 7 from Buffalo's 44, Pat Hayden brings him out. He'll send Willie Miller wide left, Preston Denard wide right. And in motion goes Billy Waddy. Waddy picked up by Mario Clyde. Hayden looking, going over the middle, no good. The intended receiver, Preston Denard, and he was boxed in nicely by Jeff Nixon, who has just returned. Nixon was out with strained ligaments, and he adds an extra back in that nickel defense.
He does. He's a good man from the University of Richmond. He has speed and toughness. That last incomplete pass by Hayden, he did the smart thing. Everybody was covered. Excellent coverage by the Bills.
So Frank Corral has kicked 2 punts of 42 and his third punt at 38, so he's averaged a little better than 40. That's today. Here's his fourth punt of the day. And Roland Hooks calling fair catch at the 10, and the ball hits and goes out of bounds. And it will go out of bounds at the 6-yard line. So the Bills, the last time they had the ball, it was 1st and 10 on the 5, and now they get it at about the 6, and Corral has done a magnificent job. Notice that he is wearing gloves to get a better grip on the football because it's pretty slippery, and the gloves in the foot have really paid off.
Boy, that out-of-bounds kicking is so valuable. It gives your offense field position. It puts their offense in the hole. Now they have to take a chance. The last time down here, they ran the ball 3 times. Let's see what they do.
With 1:49 to the half, no score, 1st and 10 on the Buffalo 6. Frank Lewis goes wide to the left side. You have Joe Cribbs and Curtis Brown behind Joe Ferguson. And they're going to stay on the ground. And it's Curtis Brown butting heads with Jack Reynolds, and down they go. You could probably hear that collision in Ithaca. So 2nd and 10 from the 6.
Well, the Rams took timeout, which is smart. Use your timeouts. Don't worry about the offense, your offense not having any timeouts. Try to stop them down here, then go for the punt block.
We are trying to do our job. As yet, we have not received any further word on the injuries to Jim Youngblood, to Vince Ferragamo, and Elvis Peacock. As soon as we get it, you'll have it. 2nd and 10 on the Buffalo 6-yard line. 1 minute and 38 seconds to the half. Reynolds with a clear head, surprisingly so after that butt with Curtis Brown. Victor Hicks with a tricky knee. The tight end is playing, but because the knee is tricky, the Rams made their last move. They brought Terry Nelson off the injured reserve, so Nelson is eligible to play today. The Rams wanted to reactivate Doug Smith next week, but Hicks's knee is so questionable they couldn't wait a week because of the importance of this game. So it's a tough break for Doug Smith. No more football for him this year.
It's also a tough break for Dennis Harrah, who would like to not have to worry about making those snaps and just playing.
Meanwhile, Frank Lewis, who has a bad back, comes out of the ball game on a 2nd and 10, and ex-Ram Ron Jesse, who caught a touchdown last week against Baltimore. Jesse, number 81. There it is with 1 minute and 38 to the half. Jesse is on the left side. Joe Cribbs will go wide left. McKenzie throws a pretty good block. Cribbs leaps over that, takes a punishing hit from Johnny Johnson, and he's knocked out of bounds. But it was a pretty good block by Reggie McKenzie. And there's Dennis Harrah, whom you just mentioned a moment ago, but the fact he will be asked to snap this year.
You know, speaking of tough breaks, Wendell Tyler's probably home watching this game, Ben. And after recuperating from the serious injury he had and came back and played, very tough break for him.
That's a tight end, Mark Bramer, who, because Will Grant has been injured, he had to snap last week, and it hurt the Bills. But Bramer is back to his tight end. Roosevelt Leaks, who's a short yardage man, is on his feet out across the 20, still on his feet, and the Rams finally hold a caucus and drop him at about the 23, and he picked up the first down. Do you know Roosevelt Leaks has an average of better than 80% on 3rd down conversions? What a tough nut he is.
Well, that percentage is very important because a playoff team will make the 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 80% of the time. Roosevelt Leaks is a power runner. At Baltimore, Vinny had a little trouble fumbling. That last play, I noticed he had the ball securely put away.
He's about 5'10", and he weighs 225. He's a battering ram. 1st and 10 on the 23 for Buffalo. 50 seconds to the half. Here's Cribbs. Hit from the side and dropped as he crossed the 25. The man who hit him from the side was Freddie Dreyer, and then Andrews came up. And I think the crowd, a little incensed, they might have thought that Andrews was late arriving. And George now is going off. 32 seconds left. So it'll be 2nd down and about 7 for Buffalo. The ball is on the 26-yard line. No score. Gary Butler goes wide left. Frank Lewis goes wide right. Brown and Cribbs behind Ferguson. They're going to stay on the ground, and it's Cribbs, and the crowd doesn't like it one bit.
Well, they don't want to take a chance and fumble. Nothing wrong with that. That's good football.
And the clock will run out. Remember, the Rams 1 game behind Atlanta, and Buffalo 1 game in front of New England, and New England playing Monday night. So you can understand why either side would be a little bit cautious. In a very hard-hitting first half, it was the Bills who have to feel that they've gone back. So far, this is the biggest single play. Ben Williams, the big man with 12.5 sacks, unloading on his quarterback Vince Ferragamo. And Ben Williams, 5 years from Mississippi, knocking Vince Ferragamo evidently out of the game. In looking back over the first half, Buffalo has to feel thoroughly frustrated. They had a 3rd and 5 on the Ram 20, marching from their own 33, but they missed a field goal. Later on, Sherman White had a sack of Ferragamo, and the next time Buffalo had the ball, they moved it and completed a pass to the Ram 5-yard line to Frank Lewis. But Buffalo was guilty of holding. Then there was a fumble recovery, and that drive went down the drain. Later on, there was a fumble recovery, a Ferragamo fumble recovered by Isaiah Robertson. And again, Buffalo got down to the Ram 21 and missed a field goal. The Rams have not really threatened. The defense has done a tremendous job. And the big stories would be the injuries to Vince Ferragamo, then to the linebacker Jim Youngblood, and lately Elvis Peacock. And the only report of the injured that we do have is the fact that Ferragamo has either a rib fracture or damage to the rib cartilage. Whether he could possibly play anymore, there's no report.
That's pretty painful. I think another big thing here is Buffalo is rushing the Ram quarterbacks without dogs, whereas the Rams are dogging Ferguson with 6 and 7 and sometimes 8 men. The Buffalo kicking game that cost them the Baltimore Colt game last week has failed today so far.
Mike Gooman standing on the right side. The deep man is back on the 5-yard line. That's Drew Hill. Ivory Sully along with Gooman are the short men at the 20. And McMyer kicking it high but not deep. Drew will take it at the 6, to the 15, to the 20, and down he goes. Great pursuit. Irvin Parker, number 62, collaring Drew Hill from the side, and he goes trotting off the field. And Sherman White, who also figured prominently. So 1st and 10, and the Rams on their own 21-yard line.
And you know, Vin, it's about what we projected at the start of the show. Conservative thinking, featuring the running game over the passing game.
The Rams have had the ball on their own 20 3 times on their 21, once on their 42. One really good field position. Second man, Cullen Bryant, running into a crowd, bulls his way out to about the 24. Well, George, you said before the ball game, because of the importance of this ball game, it figured to be a somewhat cautious ground attack, and that's really what we've seen.
There's a tendency on the coaches not to take chances, not to make mistakes. You hate to do something that costs you the ball game, so you do what's basic and sound.
Would you say that Hayden is more adept at this kind of a game than the bomber of Ferragamo?
Well, right after this play, I'll answer that.
2nd and 6 on the 25. Mike Gooman with Cullen Bryant and Victor Hicks trying to block, and a marvelous play by Lucius Sanford, number 57. Sanford last year blocked a point that helped in a victory. He also blocked 2 field goals, and he figures to be prominently displayed, number 57.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Hayden now, in a cautious game.
I think the way the Bill defense have been playing against Ferragamo, unless they change, Hayden will be more effective against this defense because he picks and gets the possession pass for the first down. Now they'll have to change to defense Pat Hayden.
3rd and 3 on the Ram 28-yard line. Barely got it away to Victor Hicks at the 30. The big tight end is across the 35 and falls forward out to about the 38-yard line, upended by Mario Clark.
And that's an example of just what I said. Here's their defense. They're coming in with just 3 rushmen this time, not the 4 down linemen. And you'll see them dog one. One linebacker coming in, Haslett, 55. Now Pat goes underneath, just a 5-yard pass to pick up the first down.
1st and 10, Mike Gooman trying to get outside, and down he goes up around the 38-yard line. A couple of medical reports. Jim Youngblood, a hyperextension of his right elbow. He will not return. Elvis Peacock, an injury to his right knee, does not figure to return. Vince Ferragamo, they finally tell us, no fracture. He could possibly come back today.
That's good news. You have to tape him up and maybe give him a shot.
2nd and 9 on the Ram 38. Gooman and Bryant, both backs release. Under some heat, Hayden's going to scramble to the 40, and he dives forward to about the 43. You know who would have hit him had he stayed on his feet? Isaiah Robertson.
Well, here's a good shot. The three rushmen and then 1 linebacker dogging. One of the inside linebackers
That's
dogging.
Haslett dogging.
Haslett, he's knocked down. Pat had nobody to throw to. Picks up what yardage he can and then gets to the turf. Smart football on his part.
They went down under Isaiah. Sanford came over. And you have 3rd and almost 3 yards to keep the drive alive for Hayden. He has Miller wide left and Waddy right. Hicks, the tight end, on the right side. Both backs release. Hayden over the middle, intercepted by Freeman to the 20. He's going to go for a touchdown. His 6th interception, his first touchdown of the year, and it is Buffalo taking a 6-0 lead.
He was trying to throw a similar pass that he picked up the first down on 3rd and 3, going underneath to the tight end. Freeman had the front zone, read it perfectly, and picked it off.
Well, Mickemeyer trying to make it 7-0 on a 47-yard pass interception. The kick is good. Steve Freeman and his father operate a 2,500-acre cotton farm in Mississippi. And I'll tell you one thing, this kid is in the tall cotton right now.
What a big play. Here it is. Pat has time. Going underneath. Freeman read it perfectly. He had the short front zone. They kind of anticipated that. Big play.
Another ironic note about Steve Freeman, he was originally drafted by the New England Patriots, the team that Buffalo is trying to beat. The kickoff to the Rams, 7-0 Buffalo. Drew Hill, 1 yard out of the end zone. And he's grabbed down by Charles Rooms. And are the Bills fired up? Listen to this crowd.
Even Mickemeyer's kickoff was better after that touchdown.
Well, I haven't heard a crowd like this since Dodger Stadium in that weekend series with the Houston Astros. They are wild.
You know, a defensive back only picks off maybe 3 or 4 touchdown passes in a career. So what a big throw, what a big play that is for Freeman.
All right, 1st and 10 on the Ram 14-yard line. Bryant with Gooman the D-back, and it's Gooman straight ahead. Out across the 15, and does he take a little punishment? So Pat Hayden, who was pressed into service because of the injury to Vince Ferragamo, Hayden going into this game had only made 25 passes all year, and it was his 4th interception. Hayden today was 3 for 6 until he threw that interception to Steve Freeman. 11:27 left in the third quarter. It is 2nd and 7 on the 17. The Rams go slot right with Denard inside Waddy, and they have Willie Miller wide left. And they'll go to Gooman on a quick hitter. Flag on the play. Loose ball. And Buffalo recovered.
Well, there's a flag and a play, though.
Let's get the interpretation on the flag.
Buffalo's ball. Penalty against the Rams.
You know who I think came up with the ball? Bill Simpson. Isaiah Robertson fumble recovery, and look for number 45 to come up with this recovery. What an ironic day. There's Bill Simpson. Down he goes, can't handle it, reaches out, pulls it in.
Looks like Bill Simpson got it, yeah.
This would have been rejected in a Hollywood script office. 1st and 10 on the Ram 21. Ferguson to the second man, and there goes Joe Cribbs inside the 10-yard line. Cribbs got it to the 9.
You know, Cribbs, Ben, here he is from the eye, straight ahead, reading his blocks, good power running. He's only 5'10", 198, but he runs like a 215-pounder.
So it is 1st and goal from the 9-yard line after Bill Simpson recovered the fumble on the Ram 21. Jerry Butler wide left, Frank Lewis wide right. Ferguson to Joe Cribbs. He's at the 5. Nolan Cromwell has him by the ankles, or he might have gone in.
Well, Ferguson's doing the right thing. You have field possession, pound it in. I formation, that's their good running set. Having their tailback carrying the ball, man-for-man blocking. Nothing fancy.
Well, that gets it just inside the 5, almost the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. Joe Cribbs is coming out, and he gets a respite. You have Curtis Brown and the runaway truck. Roosevelt Leaks in there, number 48. They'll go to Brown with Leaks blocking. Brown slants to the 1. Joe Harris and Nolan Cromwell making the tackle.
You know, Ben, when they bring in Roosevelt Leaks, they say, here we come. What are you going to do about it? The Mack truck.
That time they had Leaks blocking on Brown, and Brown got it to the 1. So it is 3rd and goal at the 1. 7-0 Buffalo. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third quarter. A lot of time for a lot to happen. Bramer and Gant along with Jesse. This time it's Roosevelt Leaks. No signal from the officials yet. Remember, he just has to break the plane of the goal line. There's not been any indication by the official.
Yeah, he tries to go over the top here. But he's right on the goal line. Here it is. He jumps. But he does not break the plane. He jumps a little bit too far back. You have to get up closer to the line of scrimmage before you jump, before you take off. They're going to go for it.
So the ball, as you can see, inches away. 4th and goal. Leaks directly behind Ferguson. And they're going to go to Leaks. And he fumbles. Loose ball. Let's see. The Rams are acting like they recovered it. There might have been an illegal crackback block on that play anyway. And the fumble recovered, evidently.
Somebody put their helmet right on the ball. Comes out to the 20.
And now it'll be ruled as a fumble recovery and a touchback.
Right. Big play for the Rams. Big play.
So on the fumble recovery, on the sidelines, Jeff Delaney, the man who recovered it. 3 turnovers to 1 for the Bills. Jeff Delaney made the recovery for a touchback in the Ram end zone.
Eckern forced the fumble, put his helmet on the ball. Delaney recovered. And we mentioned earlier, Leaks had a little problem with the Baltimore Colts fumbling in that area of the field.
So it is 1st and 10 Rams on their own 20-yard line. 7-0 Buffalo. Waddy and Miller go slot left. It'll be Cullen, Bryant, Kent Hill blocking down on Steve Freeman, and he got out to the 25-yard line.
You know, then when you pass up the field goal to go for the touchdown there and get neither one, that's
but really, George, 4th and inches, wouldn't you have gone to the touchdown?
He did the right thing.
Yeah, sure.
But if you score, that's probably the ball game.
Yeah.
Now, big break for the Rams. They earned it. The momentum ought to turn in their favor now.
2nd and 5 on the Ram 25-yard line. They go slot right with Waddy and Miller. Victor Hicks, the tight end, on the left side. It'll be Mike Gooman. Bryant blocking. Gooman stumbles across the 25, and then they push him back.
The other thing, then, that we talked about at halftime, the Buffalo Bills have completely outplayed the Rams today, and the score is only 7-0. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Rams are very fortunate to be in this ball game.
Again, we're going to repeat it throughout the game. Ferragamo with bruised ribs is out. Jim Youngblood, hyperextension of the right elbow, is out. Elvis Peacock with a right knee injury is out. So it is 3rd and 4 from the 25. Hayden gets it off down the middle. Willie Miller making the reception, and a great reception. Took it away from Bill Simpson at the 43-yard line.
Precision pass. Watch this. Good protection. 3-man rush. He's watching Willie Miller all the way. Right in there. Also good coverage. Simpson hit him just as he got the ball.
Ball almost to the Ram 44, 1st and 10. Waddy goes right, Miller goes left. Hayden setting up to go to the right side. The reception is made out of bounds, so no catch. Billy Waddy made the catch, but he went OB. Let's take another look.
Well, here's Pat Hayden going back, setting up. Pretty good coverage. Looks like he's in bounds. It's hard to tell, isn't it? It's hard to tell whether he's in or out.
Though it is 2nd and 10 on the 44-yard line of the Rams. Remember, they started on the 20, and there is Roosevelt Leaks, who is very unhappy naturally, but aptly named on that fumble. Leaks, 2nd and 10 on the Ram 44. And a draw to Gooman. He's to midfield. And is finally pushed out of bounds at the last minute by Mario Clark, who was able to shed the block of Billy Waddy.
Well, that was a good call. 2nd down and 10. Good time to run your draw. Big hole. They were playing pass. The ends are rushing to the outside.
That's Waddy trying to block Clark, and Mario stayed on his feet. Pretty good play by the cornerback on the left side. There is Joe Krebs, who made some very good runs, and they've had to work on him. Krebs so far today has carried for 57 yards. That gets almost to the 35-yard line.
Then, do you notice the difference in the Ram offense now? That they seem to have more enthusiasm after that turnover in the end zone. They've come alive. They've marched the ball right down the field. Everything basic.
It has been a remarkable turn of events when you realize that there were 2 fumble recoveries by Buffalo, one by Isaiah Robertson and the other by this man, Bill Simpson, 2 former Rams. 2nd and 4 on the Buffalo 35, and here comes Gooman again. And he's inside the 30, and Mike barrels his way down to about the 27. Gooman had a bad knee early in the year. At Penn State, he's one of the rare Penn State graduates who didn't play linebacker. He was a defensive back, a tailback, a wide receiver, a 6th-round draft choice. They also say he was an excellent left-hand pitcher.
Well, you know, the Buffalo defense in this series has been playing the pass over the run, and Hayden's been hurting them with the run.
And Gooman is averaging better than 5 yards a carry. 1st and 10 on the Buffalo 27. There goes Bryant with Dennis Harrah out in front of him. And Bryant gets close to the 20-yard line. He has to get inside the 17-yard line to get a 1st down.
This is about the best field position the Ram offense has had today.
It is, without a doubt.
Here it is. Slant, sort of a little counter step by Bryant, who has good speed. Dennis Harrah leading the play. got to the outside, which is difficult to do on this Bill defense.
Boy, this ball game is heating up ever since Roosevelt Leaks fumble on the goal line. 2nd and 4 on the Buffalo 21. Waddy and Miller in a slot left. Hicks the tight end on the right side. Gooman is the deep back, and Gooman, averaging better than 5, gets down to about the 15-yard line. Let's see where they spot it. It's close to the first down.
And Ben, did you notice how Gooman was carrying that football? 2 hands on it.
I guess that's a Joe Paterno byword. On the sideline, Jerry Butler, who has had a marvelous year receiving. Every time you look up, Butler is the man catching. 5 touchdown passes. He's caught 49. He's yet to be heard from today. 1st and 10 on the 16-yard line for the Rams. Hayden to Bryant, who cuts back inside the 15, dropped it about the 13. Nelson, Sanford, and Hazlitt, the 3 linebackers, without Robertson bringing him down.
Except for one pass, they've done this all on the ground, just pounding it out.
The one pass was to Willie Miller.
Bread and butter football.
So it is 2nd and 7. The ball is spotted at the Buffalo 13-yard line. For the first time today, the Rams look like they will seriously get a drive underway. They send Miller going left and Waddy going right. Hayden giving to Bryant, but he is grabbed by Ben Williams, who slowed him down, and that's enough. Sherman White finally tackled him, but it was number 77, Ben Williams, who hooked him from the side. The same Ben Williams who unloaded on Ferragamo and sent him to the sideline. There's Big Ben, whose true name is Robert for the books, but if he wants to be called Ben, he's called Ben.
Don't argue with him.
No.
He moves well for a 250-pounder. There's 3rd and 4. What a big down for both sides.
So on a 3rd and 4, the ball is just about at the 10-yard line. Hayden looking right, now looking over the middle, into the end zone, in and out of the hands of Billy Waddy, and it's intercepted by Mario Clark, but there's a flag on the play. Clark, still on his feet, is finally dropped at the 10-yard line, and now let's get the interpretation of the flag.
Well, the penalty was in the end zone, looked like.
And the Rams are acting as if it is interference by the Bills.
It was a late call. Pat has all day to throw. Watch this. Plenty of time to throw. Good protection. Looking all over it. Now he throws.
We'll get the announcement from Fred Silva now.
Number 29. First down.
Well, it was probably an illegal jam that we couldn't see.
So it's a automatic first down, half the distance to the goal, and you have 1st and goal on the Buffalo 5-yard line. 7-0 Bills, 2:23 in the 3rd, and here come the Rams. Pitch back to Gooman, inside a Bryant block, still on his feet as he slipped, and they're going to push him back, but his forward progress was about the 3-yard line, I believe. Let's take a look at the pass play. The time that Hayden has.
3-man rush.
They knock Smurlis out of the play. They keep Williams out of the play.
There had to be a jam up here on the left of the screen. Somewhere in there.
It's Bill Simpson in there. Along as the ball comes out into the hands of Mario Clark. All right, let's get back to live. 2nd and goal from the 3. Gooman again. And it is Gooman for a touchdown. Mike Gooman for his 4th touchdown rushing of the year. It's now Buffalo 7 and the Rams 6.
Gooman reads his blocks well. I can see why he made this football team. He uses his blockers real well. It's an off-tackle play.
There's Dennis Harrell leading and blocking on Shane Nelson.
And he cuts back.
Nelson tries to hook him and can't.
Arm tackling by Nelson.
Kadish can't get him, and it's a touchdown.
Easy touchdown.
All right, here's the big point now for Corral. He is 44 out of 45 in points this year. The hold by Nolan Cromwell. It's down. Bad snap. Wobble by Cromwell. He's going to run it over.
Well,
how about that break?
If you designed a play, you couldn't have it work any better than that.
Nolan Cromwell runs the point over in after a low snap.
Right. Quick thinking. He's got the speed and a good runner.
Cromwell, of course, for 2 years at Kansas was a quarterback. So when he gets his hand on the football, he knows what to do with it. 7-7. Muffed by Cromwell, who then picks it up. Corral has to throw a little block at Charlie Romes, and then Cromwell runs it over to tie it up. So the Rams recovered a fumble by Roosevelt Leaks and went 80 yards for a touchdown to get even.
Really, that snap was not that bad. See it again, Ben.
That was Cromwell's mistake. Picked up by Roland Hooks at the 10, to the 25, to the 30. Fumble! Recovered by Buffalo, I believe.
I used to have a rule on the center snap. I'd say better low than high. And that was a low snap. Cromwell should have had it.
So Nolan able to run in the point. Here's Roland Hooks again as he goes down the sidelines, tries to cut back, and you'll see that ball pop loose on that hit.
Hit by
Reggie Doss.
Reggie Doss, 71.
However, Buffalo recover. They have marvelous fielding position. They are 1st and 10 on the Buffalo 43. And of course, the numbers don't tell you about Roosevelt Leaks 4th and goal from 6 inches away and the fumble. Curtis Brown, and Brown is out to midfield, and the man who made that play go certainly was Joe Devlin, number 70. Devlin's the lead blocker. He's the man who was so angry at Ferguson last week that the papers reported he made an obscene gesture at his quarterback. But he just threw a pretty key block that time to open it up.
He sure did. They picked up 8 yards. You know, also in that drive, then, Hayden only completed 1 pass. Everything was on the ground.
2nd and 2 on the Ram 49-yard line. Second man, Curtis Brown, and he never seemed to get much of a charge off, and he just ran into the pack. A scoreless first half. Steve Freeman intercepted Pat Hayden's pass and ran it 47 yards for a touchdown. And then Mike Gooman carried from 3 yards out, and replacing Elvis Peacock, and Gooman off the campus of Penn State playing a big role in this game. Nolan Cromwell running in the point after to get the Rams even. So a 3rd and 3, the ball at midfield. And again, 3 receivers on the right side. Out of the shotgun is Ferguson. There's Hooks, Pacone, and Lewis on the right side. And he's going to go in that direction off Lewis's hand, defending Pat Thomas.
Well, it's a delayed pattern coming across. Here it is.
Run out of time as we take another look at this play.
From the shotgun. Plenty of time. He throws the ball a little bit too high. No chance to catch it.
And the 3rd quarter is history, 7-7. 4th and 3 at midfield. And Ferguson has to surrender the ball to his punter, Greg Cater. Cater standing on the Buffalo 35, angling for the sidelines. Leroy Irvin down at the 10, sees the ball hit, and it will go into the end zone. Cater has only kicked a dozen out of bounds, and that look on Chuck Knox tells you that he's not very happy with his punter.
You only pick up about 22 yards in a punt like that.
Yeah, bad punt, which has been the story for Greg Cater this year. There's a big play. The Atlanta Falcons taking the lead. Bartkowski passing 12 yards to Lynn Kane. It is 17-14 Atlanta. 5:56 left in the 3rd. 1st and 10. The Rams with the ball on their own 20-yard line. And this time it's Cullen Bryant out across the 25-yard line. Steve Freeman is on him. Let's take a look at a few more scores. The Bucks, Tampa Bay, leading Baltimore. Leading Minnesota 10-7 in the 3rd. See if we can flash a few in a hurry. 23-10, the Redskins shocking the Chargers. All right, 2nd and 5 on the 25-yard line. Hayden to Cullen Bryant. Shane Nelson wrapped him up and pushes him back. the Colts and the Bengals 31-6 Cincinnati. That's with 12 minutes left in the third. It is 14-3 St. Louis leading Detroit. And yet another. The Bears sitting on top of a 21-0 lead. Walter Payton and Roland Harper doing the running. Payton has scored twice, and they're only in the second quarter. So 3rd and 3 on the 27. Big play for the Rams. Payton will go to Cullen Bryant. And he got about to the 30-yard line. It's just a question of where they spot the ball,
That's right.
George.
Doesn't look like he made it.
First down.
Lionel Taylor and Ray Malavasi talking to some Rams briefly, and he just did make the first down.
You know, that Bears score, the Bears hadn't scored a touchdown, offensive touchdown against Green Bay in 3 meetings, and they're leading 21-0.
You know, only one team, Philadelphia, has clinched a place in the 10-team playoffs. Only 3 others, Atlanta, Dallas, and the Rams, can claim berths this weekend. In the AFC, the contenders will have to wait until the 15th week before any of them can be assured of the playoffs. Hayden gonna go deep. And flag on the play. Billy Waddy going deep. Bill Simpson and Mario Clark were there. And we will see the interpretation. It's going to be against the Bills.
Well, you know what? Then they had him covered so well. They had him covered so well on this bomb that they knock each other off.
Defense.
Now here
29.
it is.
Bill Simpson 45, Mario Clark 29.
Now,
it really looked like Waddy just tripped.
that's right.
That's all it looked like.
And Simpson and Mario Clark knock each other off. Now let's watch it again from another angle.
It looks like Waddy trips over Mario Clark's leg.
Here it is.
Coming up. It's already happened.
Yeah. Really, they were just playing the ball.
Oh, what a break for the Rams.
Yeah, it is a big break.
1st and 10 on the Buffalo 32, and this crowd is angry. Hayden setting up for a kill now. Throwing deep, no good to Denard in the end zone. That was a 42-yard pass penalty, and that was just when Hayden decided to really stick the knife in.
Good time to call it, and he had the receiver open on this last one. Just overthrew him. He's mixing his passes and runs pretty good. He's had them respect the run. Here it is. No chance, not enough arc on it to run underneath it. It was too far away.
Oh, it is 2nd and 10 on the Buffalo 32-yard line. Waddy goes right, Miller goes left on a draw to Mike Gooman. Gooman fighting for yardage down to about the 22-yard line.
Well, they've got good field position for a field goal now.
Jack Youngblood shielding himself from, you couldn't really dignify it by calling it a rain. It's like a mist, and a cherry bomb or some sort of firecracker going off and startled half the house on this side of the field.
Here comes Nixon and Kadeshin. They expect a pass, 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5. The ball is spotted just shy of the 22-yard line. Willie Miller goes left. Denard in a slot right with Waddy, and they're going to toss it alley-oop in the end zone. No good. Willie Miller and Jeff Nixon were down there. And apparently the Bills thought that there was interference with Nixon.
Right, man, they could have called interference on that. I don't know whether we'll see it again, but there was contact while the ball was in the air.
Here it is.
There was contact twice on that. Contact early and late.
Willie Miller butting heads with Jeff Nixon. No penalty called. Now it is a 4th and 5.
Here it is. There was early contact. The officials probably ruled they're both playing the ball, but usually any incidental contact, they give it to the defense.
Nolan Cromwell holding at the 29-yard line. So it's a 39-yard field goal by Frank Corral. He's 13 for 22. It is low. It is wobbly. It is no good.
Well, boy, that's unusual.
So the Buffalo Bills have dodged the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, plus a very fortuitous call for the Rams, and it is 7-7. And we'll return to this madhouse called Rich Stadium after this word from your local station.
High snap. It's high and behind. That's why Frank missed the field goal.
Well, Dennis Hare having trouble with a wet pigskin on the wet AstroTurf. And it's 7-7. Ferguson has not completed a pass in the second half. He has it 1st and 10, the line of scrimmage, the Buffalo 23. Cribbs and Brown, and it's Joe Cribbs trying to get outside, cuts back at the 25, down at the 26-yard line. So far, Cribbs has carried the ball 15 times, and officially now is averaging exactly 4 yards a carry to give him 60. He's the top running back in the game. Cullen Bryant has rushed for 57, and Mike Gooman has done the same. Here's Cribbs trying to get outside at the 25, and he gets too far outside. Nolan Cromwell and Pat Thomas. Thomas gestures to Cribbs as if to say, you can't turn the corner.
Well, you know what? The Rams had their nickel defense in there. They rushed it in because the Bills hurried up on 2nd down to prevent them from getting that in, and they ran against the nickel, which is pretty good strategy.
In fact, Knox has tried that several times today, trying to catch the Rams in a faulty substitution.
3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 on the 25-yard line. Frank Lewis and Lou Picone slot left. Jerry Butler wide right. The backs are Roland Hooks and Joe Cribbs. And Ferguson looking down the barrel of the shotgun. Ferguson has his man, Frank Lewis, and he's at the 49-yard line. The first completion by Ferguson that really brings up some yardage in the second half.
Here it is, shotgun, a 4-man rush. They've been dogging and have been very effective. This time, he had the time to throw.
24 yards on the pass play.
Picked up the big 1st down. This is the first time momentum has changed ever since that Roosevelt Leaks fumble.
So it is 1st and 10 on the Buffalo 49. They picked up 24 yards on that pass play. And there is Chuck Knox, and you just know how badly he wants this one. 1st and 10 Buffalo. Lewis goes right, Butler goes left. Mark Blamer, the tight end, is on the right side. Play action fake to Brown, and the pass is dropped. Butler cutting across from the left side, couldn't hold on to it.
Should have had it. Good pass. You have to catch those.
Now they're going to go into that trips or the 3 wide receivers again because Lou Picone and Roland Hooks have come in. Jeff Delaney has just come in with Leroy Irvin for the Rams. 2nd and 10. Well, just shy of the Buffalo 49-yard line. There's the trips. You have Roland Hooks, Lou Picone, and Frank Lewis on the right side. Jerry Butler on the left. Joe Cribb is almost a wingback. Ferguson looking over the middle, and he led his man Butler too much.
Well,
Rod Perry right with him.
Yeah, he hurried himself, Ben. He didn't have to hurry. He read the blitz, had him open. A good pass would have been completed. You know, one of these times, Buffalo's going to run against this nickel defense and make some big yardage.
So it is a 3rd down play for Buffalo. 3rd and 10 on the 49. Remember, the 39-yard field goal was no good by the Rams because of the high snap. The line of scrimmage was the 22, and the Bills have moved it out to the 49. Same offensive alignment. 3 receivers on the right side. Ferguson on a deep drop to get away from the rush and throws it low. Intended for Frank Lewis at the 40-yard line. Pat Thomas there.
Joe Harris was right in his face. Now they dogged him this time. Ran a stunt, what you call an Isaacs by the I-man inside. Forced him out of the pocket. Made him throw off balance short.
So on a 4th and 10, Ferguson mired for the 2nd time. And he has to give the ball to his young punter, who has not punted well, Greg Cater. Deep for the Rams, Johnny Johnson and Leroy Irvin on the Ram 10-yard line. No rush by the Rams as Cater kicks it deep, and it will be fielded by Leroy Irvin at the 15. And he goes backwards, and he is dropped at about the 13. And it's Irvin Parker, number 62, who was down there making great coverage.
Good coverage by the ends. They turned him in, boxed him in. He tried to cut back.
What a great show next Saturday. Super Sports on CBS. First, the NFL with a special edition clash between the Giants and the Redskins. Then for some of the best men and women golfers in the country, pair up for the Mixed Team Classic. And that's not all. The CBS Sports Spectacular bring you some of the brightest young skating talent at the World Junior Figure Skating Championship. And finally, the Great American Truck Race. What a Saturday on CBS. 7-7 tie with 10 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game. On the sidelines,
that's Irv Pankey over there.
Irv Pankey, number 75.
Yeah.
4-yard gain.
And you know, Vin, when I see that 75, I think of Deacon Jones. And I hope Georgia Rosenblum retires that number someday.
2nd and 6 on the 18-yard line for the Rams. Hayden pitching back to Bryant. Hazlitt slowed him up. Shane Nelson got him. Shane Nelson, 4 years out of Baylor, who led this team in tackles 2 of the last 3 years, dropping, and he's going to go out for a while.
Let me tell you something about him, Vin. He's a fine linebacker. They signed him as a free agent.
Nobody drafted him in the 77 draft, but he had a tryout with Dallas.
Right.
And then Buffalo offered him a contract.
And he's not quite as tall as you'd like him, but he's a hitter. He's all over the field.
Though it is 3rd and 6 on the 18. Waddy and Denard on the left side with Denard in motion. And Hayden looking over the right side to Denard, no good. And covering him was Mario Clark.
I think Clark got a hand in there, Ben.
He sure did.
Watch, here it is. Again, an underneath pattern. 3rd and 6. Now watch 29, Mario Clark, get a hand right in there. Tipped it away.
So on a 4th and 6, Frank Corral, who has done well for the Rams in both departments, standing inside his 5. And we'll see about the snap. A little low, but he straightens up and kicks it high to the right side. Roland Hooks at the 40. To the 45. To midfield, Jeff Delaney has him by an ankle and dropped him. But Buffalo is in excellent field position with 8 minutes and 57 seconds left in the game. 7-7 tie. What a dandy. Pass to Sammy White, 17 yards for a touchdown. 14-10 Minnesota. 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. We've got 8:57 left in our game. 7-7. 1st and 10 on the Ram 47. Curtis Brown and Joe Cribbs going all the way behind Ferguson, with Brown occasionally helped out by Roosevelt Leach. Play action fake. And they're going to set up a screen to the tight end, Mark Bramer. Bramer to the 35 and inside to the 32-yard line. And Johnny Johnson made the tackle.
I'll tell you, Ferguson and Bramer did a heck of a job. This is a play action screen to Bramer. Ferguson threw off balance, and Bramer had to make a good catch. It was low and to the outside. And now he gets every yard. Puts 2 hands on the ball as he goes down.
So he picked up 14 yards to the 33-yard line. The Falcons, a field goal by Tony Franklin has tied that game up. 17-17, 11 minutes left in that one. 1st and 10 on the 33. Ferguson to Curtis Brown into a crowd just shy of the 30-yard line.
You know, Vin, we haven't mentioned it, but the Buffalo offense has yet to score today. The one touchdown they got was on
Steve
was
Freeman's
on defense.
interception.
This is their first chance again the second half now to put 3 points on the board or do something.
They also had 2 fumble recoveries by Isaiah Robertson and Bill Simpson. And the offense has been mired all day, and they have it 2nd and 7 on the Ram 30. Jerry Butler wide left, but they're going to go to Curtis Brown. Big hole on the left side. Brown gets down to about the 26. He has to get to almost the 23-yard line for a first down.
The Ram defense so far has done a heck of a job. When you hold a pro offense scoreless for over 3 quarters, you're doing your job.
And of course, you have to constantly remember the goal line fumble by Roosevelt Leach right on the plane. And then the Rams going 80 yards for a touchdown to get even.
And that was a turning point in this game as far as the Rams were concerned.
3rd and 3 on the 26-yard line. Ferguson to Cribbs, going outside with McKenzie and Leaks blocking, and Cribbs is going to get down fumbling out of bounds, and he would pick up the first down.
Yeah.
Plenty to spare.
Then he did it on his own. He jumped over the pile. Right here, 3rd and 3, they run the ball. Now watch Cribbs running wide, and he jumps over the pile right here. Stays in bounds.
Johnny Johnson finally knocking him out, and he fumbled out of bounds.
What a big first down for the Bills.
Well, 1st and 10, the ball is spotted at the 17-yard line of the Rams. 7-7, 6:44 left in the game. Butler is left, Lewis is right. They go to Cribbs. And Cribbs can't go anywhere. He had Conrad Dobler blocking, and Pat Thomas might have been shaken up on that play. I think so. Pat Thomas is down, which reminds us to again repeat, because folks are coming in and out of the telecast. The Rams today have lost Jim Youngblood with a hyperextended right elbow, Vince Ferragamo with ribs, and Elvis Peacock with a right knee banged up, and now Pat Thomas. Great night tonight on CBS. Starts with 60 Minutes, then on Alice Mel is A Change of Heart. But you know, it's more than his heart can stand. It's all tonight on CBS. And it's all now in Buffalo. 7-7, 2nd and 12. By the way, Pat Thomas walked off the field after taking a hard block from Conrad Dobler, and it would appear to be his knee that took the brunt of a clean block by Dobler leading the play.
Lucius Smith is in place of Pat Thomas.
Well, the Rams have suffered 4 serious injuries, perhaps not serious to each player involved, but certainly to the team effort. So 2nd and 12 on the 19-yard line. 6 minutes, 39 seconds left in the game. Cribbs and Brown behind Ferguson. Bramer, the tight end, on the right side. Lewis goes right, Butler goes left. Play action fake to Cribbs. Ferguson on a keeper to the 15. Cromwell brings him down at about the 11-yard line.
Well, you know, Vin, I was wondering why they ran that wide sweep where Pat Thomas got hurt, because they've been so effective running inside. They ran that sweep to set up this bootleg. There was a purpose, a reason for it.
And he has rushed with the ball 30 times this year.
Very, very good call. You don't expect Ferguson to run that much. Picked up good yardage.
They spot the ball at the 11-yard line.
8 yards on the bootleg.
So it's a 3rd down play. And a big play it is from the 11. Remember, they started on the Ram 47. Joe Cribbs diving down to about the 8-yard line. He has to get just beyond the 8-yard line for a first down. Take a little look at the hitting.
Again, running inside, an M. Hunch play with the fullback leading the play. Now they have a decision to make whether to kick a field goal or go for it.
Well, the first thing they're going to do is measure, because it is that close. As we said, they have to get just inside the 8-yard line. And it's going to be a matter of inches one way or the other.
It's short.
And there, Reggie McKenzie saying it's that far away.
Well,
and Knox says Mickemeyer.
Yeah, you got it. That's the correct decision. You have to go for the field goal.
Wait a minute. They're calling Mickemeyer off the field. They're going for it. Oh, what a switch.
Well, it doesn't have much confidence. Doesn't show much confidence in your kicker, Ben.
Boy, 4th and inches on the Ram 8-yard line. 5:20 left in the game, and it's a 7-7 tie, and Buffalo is going for it. And it's Cribbs, and I don't think he made it. And it's also interesting, they did not give the ball to Roosevelt Leaks. And Leaks figures to carry on that kind of a play.
Here's 2 4th down plays where the Rams defense stopped them. That could be the turning point in this ball game.
I tell you, George, there are so many turning points in this game. It's like a revolving door.
Look at this. It's the same play. The M. Hunch play. Fullback leading the pack. The Rams, everybody, 11 men up. No gain.
Buffalo's frustration as Joe Cribbs, trying 4th and inches, is hit by Ivory Scully and then Johnny Johnson and didn't make it. So first Chuck Knox had his kicker, Mickemeyer, on the field and called him back, and then he gave the ball to Cribbs and not to the short yardage man, Roosevelt Leaks, and it didn't work. So it is 1st and 10 on the Ram 9-yard line. Gooman, the deep man, out of the eye, and they go to Gooman, and he gets it to the 10.
Well, on that goal line defense, the Rams were in a gap defense. Everybody up. Everybody played run over pass. He didn't come close to making any yardage at all. In fact, he may have lost some yardage on the play. That's a real gamble. That's really a chip shot field goal there, Vin.
You realize Buffalo has missed 2 38-yard field goals. Right. They had a fumble on the Ram goal line, and they missed a 4th and inches on the 9.
And the offense still hasn't put any points on the board.
2nd and 9 on the Ram 10-yard line. Pat Hayden for the injured Ferragamo gives to Gooman, and he's swallowed up by Sanford on the right side as he got out to about the 13 or 14-yard line.
Here it is again. Toss to the tailback to Gooman, who reads his blocks well, tries to cut back, then bounces outside.
Sanford fought off Dennis Harrop, and that was enough to bunch up the play.
We said this was going to be a conservative game and emphasizing the running over the passing.
Boy, has that come about. 3rd and 6 on the 13-yard line. Waddy and Denard on the left side, Miller on the right. And Hayden under some rush by Cadis. Mike Cadis knocks him down. I tell you what, in the offseason, Mike Cadis owns a condominium in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands to get away from Buffalo. He's happy to be here now.
Well, they bring him in as the 4th down lineman to rush the passer, and that's what he did.
So on a 4th and 17, the ball is back on the Ram 2-yard line, and Corral is almost out of the end zone.
Let's see the center snap.
Yes, we've had a couple of shaky snaps. Dennis Harrop doing the snapping. Paul Urquhart is back there to block. Good snap. And Corral gets it away. Roland Hooks at the 45 to the 40. Got away from 3 Rams and is finally swallowed up.
A heck of a job by Roland Hooks.
Boy, I should say.
Roland Hooks picked up about 7 yards there, all on his own. The official got in his way. The official almost knocked him off.
7-7. Well, it is 1st and 10 Buffalo on the Ram 33. 2 minutes and 58 seconds left in the game and a 7-7 tie. Buffalo's offense thoroughly frustrated all day, given another golden opportunity, and Cribbs is stacked up. Phil Murphy, number 95, the first man to hit him.
You know what this means here. Now here's Butler. Let's see what problems he has. The Rams are covering him short and long, jamming him.
Boy, Leroy Irvin is fighting him to the death.
It's a running play, but they need 1 first down to get Mickemeyer in range for a field goal. The Rams defense has to stop him. They can't give him that first down.
2nd and 9 on the 32 for Buffalo. It'll be Curtis Brown, and he was tripped up and falls forward. It was Larry Brooks who tripped him up as he went by. Brooks taking a block from Dobler.
Well, they're being conservative. They're keeping the ball on the ground to try to pick up the first round.
There is Nick Mickemeyer. He not only has missed 2 39-yard field goals today, but on 4th and inches, he was called off the field. Now, you can just imagine how he feels, and suddenly, it might very well have the whole ball game laid on his doorstep.
And then against Baltimore last week, he had 1 blocked.
And struggling with field goals, Mickemeyer missing 2 today has only made 2 of his last 10. So you know there's a lot of pressure on a kid who was born in Bologna, Italy, whose brother is the kicker for Baltimore, whose dad was a world-class soccer player. Nick Mickemeyer, 8 years from Temple, used to kick with Atlanta and Philadelphia, originally drafted by Atlanta, and he could turn out to be either the star or definitely a Buffalo GOAT. So Chuck Knox, meanwhile, talking to his offense.
You know, the tough thing here is offensively, Do you throw the ball or do you run? Because you don't want to get a loss. You need to get it closer for him to have a chance to kick that field goal.
You know, they have a slogan here in Buffalo, talk proud. Try and talk positive about the city. Well, it's been a positive day up here. And more positiveness next Saturday on CBS. The NFL Today will feature that great and traditional rival, the New York Giants against the boys down south, the Washington Redskins. And then on Sunday, the Saints and the Jets, the Cardinals and the Eagles, 49ers Atlanta, Tampa Bay Detroit. Check your local station for the time and listings. And also remember, there'll also be the final round of the mixed team golf classic.
You know, Ben, you might even run the ball 2 downs here.
Well, it's 3rd down. It's 3rd and 7. The ball on the Ram 30-yard line.
Shotgun.
And Fergie out of the shotgun. Bramer has shaken loose. The tight end was in a slot right. He's looking for Butler. And Rod Perry has interfered with him. Absolutely.
Right. Good call. They went for the bomb. Here it is. They went for the bomb with Butler on Perry. Butler has them beaten, and Perry knocks the receiver off. Good call. No decision on that call at all, Ben.
No, there was no doubt about it. Rod had his man already beaten him, so he bumped him.
They didn't see the ball.
So the ball is on the 10-yard line. I wonder whether it was 1st and goal. Actually, I think it is just shy of the 10. It's a 20-yard pass penalty, and it'll be 1st and 10. Joe Cribbs. He has Dobler blocking, but he's caught from behind. Leroy Irvin and Joe Harris over there. We have 1 minute and 43 seconds.
Now, the last time he ran that sweep, he ran a bootleg off it. Here's Mickemeyer. He's thinking, oh, boy, I got to kick that field goal. It's a chip shot.
Boy, that's tough. You talk about a team sport, but not when you're a kicker. You're all alone. You talk about the loneliness of the long-distance runner. How about the loneliness of the long-distance kicker? 2nd and a long 10, almost on the 11-yard line. And again, it's Cribbs inside the 10. Fumble picked up by Joe Harris. Harris caught from behind. Can you believe this game? Roosevelt Leaks finally brought him down.
That's the 3rd time they fumble. Oh, Joe Harris, what a play.
And Joe Cribbs has been hurt. The same Joe Cribbs who came in here having a fantastic year. And there's Joe Harris finally caught by Leaks from behind. But Joe Cribbs is hurt inside the 10-yard line. Take another look at the play.
You know, Joe Harris, people don't know much about him. He's a big play guy. Up in Canada, he had a knack of recovering fumbles and scoring. He set a record up there playing. I signed him then with the Redskins just because of his big play ability. He's a good athlete. He's in there because Youngblood is hurt. This game could go into overtime now.
Well, Joe Cribbs on a 2nd. Remember, Roosevelt Leaks fumbled on the Ram goal line.
You know, I think Reynolds knocked that ball loose. I think Reynolds tackled.
Reynolds and Phil Murphy was on the top. Well, the inscrutable face of Chuck Knox, but you know how he feels. The offensive unit for Buffalo absolutely and thoroughly frustrated. A magnificent day for the Ram defense. The Bills have been totally tied up, unable to score on 2 field goal misses on a 4th and inches play. They fumbled on the goal line. Now they have a 1st and 10, and Joe Cribbs fumbles.
They've done everything except score. Everything except score.
Well, Cribbs slowly getting up, we're happy to report, and the crowd reacts. That's Reggie McKenzie, the big guard, walking off with him.
You know, the one thing I used to tell my backs when we got down there, it was like a broken record. 2 hands on the ball. 2 hands on the ball.
You know, when Joe Cribbs was at Auburn, he carried the ball 657 times and fumbled only 5. At one stage, he had 288 carries consecutively without fumbling. So he is certainly not a fumbler. As you see, our score 7-7, 1 minute and 8 left, and there is Cribbs over on the sideline. shaken up high up on the left arm, evidently. 1st and 10 Rams on the 32. Hayden setting up a screen, but Shane Nelson read it. And Mike Gooman is shaken up. Mike Gooman takes a hit from Shane Nelson, and he's hurt. And Cribbs having trouble breathing, I think, on the left side.
Well, Shane Nelson played that screen perfectly. He went right out with his coverage. He was there at the same time the ball was. The clock's running down.
40 seconds. We are 38 seconds away from an overtime. 7-7 tie. 2nd down, 17 on the 25-yard line. Hayden setting up, and he's going to go deep. No good. Willie Miller is down there with Charlie Roan. And, of course, I'm sure that Pat was thinking, among other things, maybe interference again.
With the present rules, then that's a good call. Take a chance. The worst you get is an incomplete pass. The ball, he had no chance to catch it. The ball was thrown out of bounds.
3rd and 16 on the 25. The scoring, Steve Freeman intercepted a Pat Hayden pass, ran 47 yards for a touchdown. The Rams, after recovering a goal line fumble in the end zone for a touchback on 80 yards, Gooman scored from 3 to tie it up, and here we are with 26 seconds left. On a draw to Gooman, he goes outside to the 35, down at about the 40-yard line, but he had to get outside the 41. He's a buck shy. And there's a timeout on the field with 15 seconds left.
And by the way, that was a good call, a draw. Keep the clock running. Now the Bills, it's 4th and 3. The Rams have to punt. The Bills should have the punt block on, go all out.
Well, I was just going to say, if you're the Rams, why not let the clock run out? Why punt? Why not just stand? And so what are they going to do? Penalize you 5 yards?
Well,
boy, I would just have a long count. If the clock runs out, we'll see you in overtime.
They could take it. They might even try to draw them off sides here.
Sure.
Have a long count and try to draw them off sides.
Roland Hooks is on the Buffalo 20-yard line. And Frank Corral standing on the 25. The 30-second clock is down to 23. It's down to 21 to 20. Low snap, and Corral just partially blocked. And it's going to roll to midfield, and it's finally recovered by Walt Arnold. I tell you, that's a scary. I don't understand why they even bothered.
We've been talking about a snap all day, and that was a bad snap.
Right, and that's another consideration.
Right.
Bad snap.
Frank had a good pickup like a shortstop. Now, Ferguson has a chance for one play. Has to be a bomb.
And Joe Cribbs is healthy enough to come back in with 6 seconds left in the game. That punt, by the way, officially is 11 yards. Look at the bad snap. Charging in is Irvin Parker. He just missed it.
He kicked it away from him. He kicked it to the right. If he kicked it normally, he would have blocked the kick.
So that was a marvelous effort when you think about it. Irvin Parker is 6'4", and Corral, unrattled, at least kicked it. So here's the big play.
Butler's the guy the Rams have to be concerned about.
Butler, Lewis, and Cribbs, 3 receivers on the right side. One play for Ferguson. Cranks up, going deep in the end zone. And it is busted up. And the clock, of course, ran out. And so we are going into overtime. There will be a 3-minute respite, a toss of the coin. There will be 3 timeouts for each side in the quarter, if there be some. And, of course, you immediately think of the last overtime game on CBS Thanksgiving Day when Dave Williams ran the kickoff for a touchdown.
The big thing here is to win that flip. It's so important the way that rule is, because the team that scores first, no matter what it is
George,
the winner.
Do you think that it is unfair? Do you not? For instance, Buffalo had the ball, 1st and 10, and time ran out. Why not continue from that field position? They earned it.
Yes.
Do you think that perhaps they'll someday change that rule?
Oh, I think maybe someday the rule might be that both sides get a fair chance. And
all right, Kadish and McKenzie, along with Youngblood, and here's the toss.
Heads, tails.
Tails for Buffalo, heads for the Rams.
Tails is called. Tails is thrown, you got it.
Jack Youngblood won the toss. The Youngblood And the Rams win the toss, and the Rams get a big break, I would assume, of course, to get your hands on the ball right away.
Because you have to score to win.
I still don't know why they didn't let the clock run out. What a gamble. Not a scoring game, but still a magnificent game between two marvelous teams that came in here 9-4.
This is old-fashioned football. Defense, running the ball, physical.
Fumbles, and two pivotal fumbles as Joe Ferguson gets some more information from atop. Nick Mickemeyer kicking off from the 35. The Rams will have Drew Hill standing on the 5-yard line. Well, Mickemeyer gets his foot into that one. Drew Hill will not be able to run it out. So the Rams will put it in play, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. And remember, their only touchdown, they went 80 yards.
Then I didn't answer your question because we ran out of time, but I think someday the rule might be that we'll say if the Rams score in this drive or kick a field goal, touchdown or field goal, that now Buffalo has the same opportunity to come back.
It just seems very hard to say to two teams after a magnificent afternoon, it's going to be decided by tossing a coin. Elvis Peacock has not been playing since the 2nd quarter when he was banged up and went out with a bad right knee. Willie Miller is in motion. They'll go to Mike Gooman. Bryant and Hicks trying to block for him, and Gooman squirms for maybe 2 yards.
By the way, Mike Gooman has done a fine job. Here's a rookie playing in a pressure game, a big game, overtime. Didn't expect to play.
George, let's go back a minute to the Rams with 15 seconds left and going to the punt, full well knowing that Dennis Harris been having trouble with a snap. How else could they have played?
Well, I would have done the same thing. I would have punted the ball, Ben. I'll explain that a little later.
2nd and 7 for Hayden, and he goes to the right side to Cullen Bryant, but Shane Nelson is there, and interference is called. Shane Nelson, the linebacker, out to cover Cullen Bryant.
And you know what? The ball was overthrown.
Let's get to your 15 seconds.
Well, with that 15 seconds,
Defensive pass interference.
Buffalo still had another timeout left. If the Rams try to fool around and run around, let the clock run out, they could trap them back there, take their one timeout, maybe with 3 seconds left on the clock, and then kick a field goal and beat them.
Even though, as we have seen, Dennis Harris has had so much trouble, and you hate to even ask him to snap that wet ball.
That's right. They got away with it. I would have done the same thing.
All right, 1st and 10. The ball is on the Ram 28-yard line. They'll go to Mike Gooman, and Gooman out to about the 32. If for one reason or another you have missed most of this game, we have to repeat. Vince Ferragamo took a hard tackle from Ben Williams, went out with a rib injury. Pat Hayden has been in there. Elvis Peacock went out with an injury to his right knee, so Mike Gooman is playing. Jim Youngblood went out with an injured right elbow, so Joe Harris has played a lot in his linebacking spot. 2nd and 7 on the 32. Bryant trying to go one way, can't, so he keeps going, and they finally bury him, but he got away from Ben Williams. Williams had him back about the 28-yard line, and Bryant was still able to get the ball across the 35.
And you know, Ben, who set that all up was Isaiah. Isaiah got across quickly and turned the play in to the pursuit, to the inside pursuit.
Here's a big play. 3rd and 3.
Do you run or do you pass?
Well, we'll see what Hayden does. He sends Billy Waddy right and Willie Miller left. He has Victor Hicks, the tight end, on the right side. Hayden going to go deep down the middle, overthrown.
Should have been intercepted.
Yes, and look at this. Bill Simpson and Rones look like they're having a team meeting.
Rones has the ball right in his hand. 3-man rush. Plenty of time to throw. Here it is. Right in Rones' hands. Well, let's watch that snap again.
All eyes riveted on Dennis Harris. He's had some trouble. Frank Corral standing on the 20. The deep man is Roland Hooks on the Buffalo 25. 7-7 in overtime. Good snap by Harris. End-over-end kick that'll hit on the 30, and Hooks will field it at the 22. Upended at the 34-yard line, and the man who was Rich Saul.
Rich Saul.
So, number 61 was the snapper that time, Rich Saul.
And he made a perfect snap.
Meanwhile, the Falcons and Eagles have 57 seconds left in their game, and they're 17-17.
What a game that must be. For Buffalo to win today, the offense has to score.
So 1st and 10. The ball on the 34-yard line of Buffalo. Curtis Brown and Joe Cribbs. So Cribbs is okay and back to the Wars, and they'll try him as he hurdles out across the 40 out to about the 42. He has to get to the 44.
Then that's the play he talked about in the top of the show. His best running play from the eye, so he can read the blocking, pick a hole play. Picked up 8 yards on it.
So Joe Cribbs moves it out to the 42-yard line. So it is 2nd down, about 2. And he'll try Cribbs again, and this time both arms around the ball, but the Rams stack him up.
Boy, the Ram defense has played great today. They make 8 yards on 1st down, and they come up 3rd and 2. Time after time this has happened.
Right. Yeah, the Buffalo defense, of course, they have been pretty well rested the times that they've been on the field, because the Rams have not really had much of any prolonged drive except the 80 yards for a touchdown.
Except that one drive.
And there they are again, standing on the sideline. The offense has kept the ball, but they haven't scored. So it is 3rd down and 2. And Roosevelt Leaks is in there, but they're going to go to Cribbs. And Cribbs going outside has the 1st down. Rod Perry slings him out of bounds. 1st down, Buffalo.
No question about it. He got the 1st down. Good blocking at the point of attack. Roosevelt Leaks.
Pretty good block Leaks got off.
McKenzie. He lowers his shoulder, goes forward, gets the 1st down.
But moves the ball to the 46-yard line. 1st and 10. They'll have Butler going left and Lewis going right. Ferguson right in and out of the hands of the tight end Mark Bramer.
And then the reason he went to Bramer is that the Buffalo defense had double both wide receivers. And that's your key. Go to your tight end. Now watch Bramer come down and hook up. Now the ball's thrown pretty hard. He didn't look it in either.
Joe Harris almost had another one.
Yeah.
Joe Cribbs has now rushed for 1,000 yards. The reason for the cheering. He needed 83 today, and he's gotten it. So it is 2nd and 10 on the Buffalo 47. And straight ahead goes Curtis Brown into Ram territory with Joe Harris on his back.
You know, Vin, neither team today has done much through the air. Both offenses have been predicated on ball control, straight ahead running, and blocking, man-for-man blocking. It's about the only thing they've done. Now here we are, 3rd and 3 again.
So 3rd and 3. The ball just across the Ram 47-yard line. Out of the shotgun. Lou Picone and Frank Lewis are right. Butler is left. Ferguson to Roland Hooks, and he takes a lick by Leroy Urban, but I think he picked up the 1st down. He did.
You know, Ben, one thing that shotgun allows you to do on defense, boy, the fans here are, here it is. Hooks makes a good catch and cradles the ball. It allows you to play pass. As soon as the Rams see Ferguson in the shotgun, they disregard run.
Once again, Nick Mickemeyer standing in the wings. An ovation for a weary Conrad Dobler, who just came off the field. 1st and 10 on the Ram 42. And Ferguson high to his man, no good. Johnny Johnson is all over Mark Bramer.
Yeah.
John Borchardt is in there, spelling Conrad Dobler, number 73.
Well, he's going to the tight end, Bramer. Johnny Johnson's right on him. He's there exactly at the same time the ball arrives. Here it is. Good coverage. He makes the tackle and goes for the ball at the same time. That's a good shot.
So 2nd and 10 on the 42. 9 minutes and 59 seconds left in this overtime. And you have Hooks, Pacone, and Lewis on the right side, Butler on the left. And again, Ferguson out of the shotgun. Bryant trying to get at him. Harris trying to get at him. And the pass is to Frank Lewis. And Lewis is going to be boxed in at the 15-yard line.
Wow. Well, a great play here by Ferguson. He's rushed out of the pocket and throws on the run. And Frank Lewis, watch Frank Lewis jump and take the ball away from
Leroy Irvin.
Heck of a play.
Meanwhile, Freddie Dreyer, who was trying to get in on Ferguson, is hurt on the play. And Dreyer back on the 45-yard line is being ministered to. So a 30-yard play from the 42 to the 12. And the Bills, offensively unable to score all day, now have the golden opportunity.
Well, you know what they might do, Ben? They might kick a field goal right now, not risk a chance of fumbling that ball. It's a chip shot.
So 1st and 10 from the 12. Nick Mickemeyer, who has missed 8 of his last 10 field goal attempts. So he can't be too confident no matter what the distance.
I tell you what it does. The defense doesn't know for sure whether you're going to kick or not. This might be a fake.
The holder is a left-handed David Hum. Meanwhile, Freddie Dreyer very gingerly up and slowly coming off the field. Boy, it has been a painful day for the Rams.
Well, Hum is their regular holder.
Right.
He's their first holder.
And Hum is in there to hold.
But this is good strategy to kick your field goal early. It keeps the defense honest. They got to cover. They can't come in with 11 people. They can gamble and come in with 11 people.
The Rams have blocked 3 kicks this year, in case you wonder. The fellows who have blocked them, Jeff Delaney blocked 1, Lucius Smith blocked 1, Jack Youngblood has blocked 1.
The big thing here is the snap and the hold. That's what it is. Good snap, good hold. That's what you need to kick the field goal.
So this entire somewhat brutal day could be decided by a field goal. And talking about field goal, Tim Mazzetti has just kicked a 37-yard field goal with 7 seconds left. And Atlanta is leading Philadelphia 20-17.
Unbelievable. Long. A lot of pressure on Mickemeyer. A lot of pressure on him because he hasn't had a good year. He failed him last week against the Colts. He's missed 2 today. He's kicking on an early down. He's kicking on 1st and 10.
They waved him off on a 4th and inches when it looked like they had a field goal.
Right.
So his confidence certainly cannot be too high right now.
The division championship is on the line.
All right, the whistle is blown, and here we go. You know, just another thought. The Rams could lose today, Atlanta could win, and the Rams could still win the division.
That's right.
In case you're thinking about it. Here it is, the hold by Hum at the 20. 30-yard field goal is up. It is good. Lights out in Buffalo. Buffalo Bills have defeated the Los Angeles Rams. For history buffs, it is the first time that Buffalo has beaten the Rams. And for Chuck Knox, what a sweet, although most frustrating day. Our thanks to all of the people who worked so hard to bring this telecast to you. To Charles Milton, our executive producer. to our producer, Perry Smith, to our director, Tony Berner, who's celebrating his 17th anniversary of inventing the instant replay today, to Dr. Bob Woods for all of his statistical help, to Tony Vaccani for his help here in the booth, and to all of the men who have labored all day on a cold, soggy day in Buffalo to bring you a rather unforgettable game. Buffalo almost winning in spite of itself. The Rams beaten physically, losing so many players, hanging so tough, and then running out of real estate.
Perfect snap, perfect hole, good kick. The Rams showed a lot of character today.
Boy,
with the injuries they have had to stay in this ball game.
And talking about injuries in the ball game, you have to remember the Rams lost Vince Ferragamo, they lost Elvis Peacock, and they lost Jim Youngblood, all in the very early going. And yet, it had to be overtime.
And Pat Thomas, don't forget Pat Thomas.
Pat Thomas.
Right.
So for George Allen, this is Vin Scully saying so long from Buffalo. The NFL on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.